Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another edition of the Yards After the Catch podcast. I'm your host, Alex Young, and joining me today is a crew of Trio 3, as usual. We're going to go over to Desmond first this week. Desmond, how you doing?
Good, good. It was tough seeing the Eagles take their first L of the year, but being 4-1 after that stretch ain't too bad.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same. I saw my team get beat by the New Orleans Saints. We'll talk about that in a little bit. That was brutal. Nico,
Yeah.
you're back with us, the gambling man. Nico, how are you this week?
Good, good. 4-1 last week. Hoping to roll that momentum into next week and excited for another great episode.
If everyone doesn't realize, we'll talk about it again as well later. But Nico's on a heater right now when it comes to podcast picks. So make sure you're listening to this man when he does his picks later in the show. And lastly, we got our boy CJ Siege. How you doing?
Yeah, lastly but never leastly, you know what I'm saying? Bars it's Godzilla's bars. I'm back on this week. I'm doing pretty good. 4-1 coming off a bye. I'm coming off a bye. My team's coming off a bye. Feeling strong.
Yeah. I think they're exceeding expectations from our previous talks about the Steelers and overseas. They did pretty well, and the game all looked unreal. Was
We
not
gonna talk
expecting that.
about it.
So we'll talk a little bit more about the Steelers down the line, but we're going to talk about week five. I feel like every week's a different topic of a week. We had the witching hour week. We had the week of the blocked field goals. This week was the week of the comebacks. But before we talk about the week of the comebacks, we're going to talk about some of the games that stood out to us this week, and then talk about all these comebacks, including my New York Giants getting beat by the Saints, and the Saints coming back against them. But with that, we're just going to talk first about the Vikings and the Browns in London. Fun game. I really enjoyed waking up to that one and that back and forth matchup. Vikings come back at the very end, last drive, win 21-17 over the now 1-4 Cleveland Browns, and that is the last game that Joe Flacco will be a member of the Browns. We saw Dylan Gabriel's debut. Looked all right. Again, all I gotta say is Kashawn Junkins is looking like a top 10 running back going forward. That dude is on beast mode. But that's enough from that one. Fun game, but I'll get you guys' thoughts real quick. What did you guys think about the London game between the Vikings and Browns? Desmond, I'll start with you.
I think I'm actually more impressed with the Vikings here. I mean, I know that, like obviously the Vikings had to come back and claw back and, find a way to win at the end, but year after year, this coach keeps plugging in random quarterbacks that you thought, were just gonna fall to the dustbin of history and keeps winning games with just about everybody. So I think the Vikings are a pretty scary team moving forward. They just keep finding ways to win.
Yeah, completely agree with what O'Connell's doing. Again, we're seeing around the league his impact as quarterback, especially Daniel Jones in Indianapolis. Whatever he did for a few weeks has changed that guy's career. But agreed that you can have Carson Wentz looking like back in his days with the Eagles and
Yeah.
continuing this impressive start for the Minnesota Vikings. Again, that last drive was fun to watch. The London fans got a very, very fun game. Nico, what were your thoughts between the Vikings and the Browns this week?
Yeah, my take on that game was pretty simple actually. Like the Browns just had four straight drives in that fourth quarter to close them out, and they just couldn't do it.
Mm.
They possessed the ball four times after being up 21-17, and they got a total, I believe, of two first downs in that stretch. It
Yikes.
just can't happen in this league. Like it's a game of inches. You got to put it away. You can't allow them to have that much time, and you just can't let them go to length of the field when they haven't done anything in the second half. In that situation, but hats off to Carson Wentz. Again, did what he had to do to win that game. But my real takeaway is the Browns. Just like you got to close out in that
Mhm.
situation 10 out of 10 times, especially in this league.
Yeah, completely agree. And I think the Browns defense will keep you in games. We've seen that. There was Dylan Gabriel's first start, like I said, some up and downs. But yeah, I completely agree. They had to close the Vikings out. But this Vikings team scrappy, man. They find ways to win. And with that offense, again, and with Carson Wentz, who a little earlier in the game got banged up, and I thought he was going to be knocked out of the game. The fact he came back in and toughed it out was fun to watch as well. So, CJ, what were your thoughts on that before we bounce to another game from this week?
Getting rid of Sam Darnold was the dumbest thing that the Vikings probably did. I'm gonna say that all year. And the Browns, uh, it's just outside of Judkins, who I mean, like I'm just disappointed. Like, who's the Browns' number one receiver?
It's
Jerry
Judy,
Judy.
but he has not shown up like he did last year. It has
Mm.
been a massive fall from him, and it's hurt my fantasy team.
Yeah, so that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when McCarthy comes back. But I know a lot of people are looking at this Vikings team and wondering if Darnold was still there, what the case might be. But the Vikings are still having success. That's
I
all.
mean,
Three and two. But yeah,
real quick,
what's up, CJ?
real quick. I'm sorry. I mean, because I just remember y'all giving praise to Carson Wentz. We have to remember that he was a starting quarterback at one point
Yeah,
on a Super Bowl winning team,
yeah,
MVP like candidate.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Had he not gone down, we don't know
yeah,
what his career
yeah,
could have been.
yeah.
But he did go down, and we got to look at it now as him as a perennial Ryan Fitzpatrick on whatever team he's going to be on. So we just got to let that go.
Yeah, no, I mean, Desmond, you experienced it firsthand before we bounce to another game. Is that we see in the fall from Wentz. It's good to see him bounce back.
I'm gonna
Again,
save you all my Carson Wentz speech, but I feel a little differently about it.
well, yeah.
I'll keep it there. I'll
Look,
keep it
I
there.
think I think a lot of us saw the decline.
Yeah.
We see his back. Same feeling, right? Like I had with Daniel Jones, is that
Yeah.
it's
They're
good
in
to
the
see him.
headlights.
Good to see him have success. It's
Yeah.
not going to be as sustainable as people think. I feel the same way about Daniel Jones, and that could be
They're
a
in the
hot take.
headlights.
But good to see Wentz get a win. Moving on to another fun game. Before we talk some other comebacks from this week, the Bucks and the Seahawks game was everything as advertised. That
Oh,
game was absolutely ridiculous. Bucks win 38-35. They moved to 4-1 in the season. Seahawks are down to 3-2 on the year. Uh, Super fun game. Just back and forth all around. Baker Mayfield is having an MVP season in my eyes. What he's continued to do, especially in clutch moments. But this was just a fun battle between quarterbacks. I mean, you look at the stats. Sam Darnold, 28 of 34, 341, four touchdowns, one pick. Uh, and then you look at Baker, 29 of 33, 379, and two touchdowns. I mean, just absolute efficiency by both starting quarterbacks. Just a fun game. Like I said, I think everything has been advertised. And I know it's only week five, but just
but
give Emeka Buka Offensive Rookie of the Year. It's a wrap. Finishes the game, seven receptions, 163 yards, one touchdown. And Desmond is feeling
somebody
great
called it.
because he called it.
Called
He called it
it.
on our first episode that Ibuka is the player to watch, the rookie to watch, and he's proving it week in, week out. That dude is an absolute stud. So I'm gonna go and start off with Nico here. What would your thoughts between the Bucks and the Seahawks?
Yeah, and I think he had everything perfect. Like, it was such a fun game. Everything that you wanted in a football game was that game. Both quarterbacks just balled out, absolutely amazing. Darnold and Baker, but yeah, I'm also agreeing with you, Alex. I really think people got to start looking at Baker Mayfield as an MVP caliber player. No matter the situation, he is just a dog, and he just finds ways to win football games. And there's nobody right now in the NFL, and I even like a guy like Josh Allen, who's phenomenal, but I don't think in a 2 minute drill there's anyone I want on my team right more than Baker Mayfield at this point. And he hit the nail on the head. And Desmond, hats off to you and Ibuka, absolutely phenomenal. Is we going to start having a conversation in like 2 years from now? Like, is this a possible top three receiver in the league? Like, will he fill the shoes of Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson in the next 3 years? Is that something that can be talked about? We're going to find out. But yeah, hats off to the Bucks. And again, tough loss for Seattle, who's a really nice team, and Sam Darnold again, just another solid performance.
Yeah, I know Sam Darnold threw that pick late, but again, just sometimes it happens. It's the NFL, but just again,
So
fun battle back and forth, and the fact that that's his only blemish on the game. Hats off to him. Just again, fun overall game. Siege, I'll go over to you before we go with Desmond. What were your thoughts between the Bucks and the Seahawks this week?
Um, it was a phenomenal game. As much as I like to hit on Baker Mayfield, he's what the Bucks needed after Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He's got that dog in him. He's got that dog. Ain't no other quarterback I see fighting like Baker fights. I love to hate on Baker Mayfield. I find myself not being able to do it this year. And not saying that I'm joining his bandwagon. It's just more so the man does whatever he needs to
Mhm.
do for his team to win. And listen to this next thing I'm about to tell you. He has this very sneaky way to get like 10, let's just give him the credit of seven of the most crucial yards on a run that his team needs.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To extend the drive, that it's the most sneakiest. And when you watch the run, it don't be like a little scamper and a slide. It be like a Adam Sandler's the longest yard. He could have lost his helmet on that run.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to them. The man is a chihuahua. He's scrappy. You know what I'm saying? He's in there and he's fighting for those yards. I'll give it that. Sam Darnold plays like Sam Darnold at the end of the day. He's gonna throw a pick or two. It is what it is. But I will say him outside of the original system that he played in is looking real good. Even Carolina's system was too trash for Sam Darnold to thrive. He thrived in Minnesota and he's thriving in
Hmm.
Seattle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I kind of want to say that even though it's not looking like the craziest, like, even though it's not looking like Minnesota, because you got to look at the Vikings defense
Yeah.
and everything too, right? I would say he's thriving more in
Mhm.
Seattle. Look at those numbers. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba is like, I would say, like, probably like top five right now, if not number like top three receiver in the league right now. He's putting those fucking yards up. Puka is number one in my book.
Yeah.
Ain't no one beating Puka. But you just gotta look at this. The game was great, solid. The Bucks got an overall good team. Hating on them earlier this year against one of my coworkers, I was like, yo, the Bucks don't got it. But the Bucks are looking really, really, really solid to take the NFC this year.
Yeah.
With or without Mike Evans, hot take.
Yeah. No, I completely agree, Siege, on that. Again, the reason I picked the Seahawks to be my team to watch this year just because of Sam Darnold. Really, just because I thought what was going to happen once he leaves Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. And I completely agree with just SJ. He is thriving in Seattle. He looks like he's not missing a beat. He still looks comfortable. Doesn't have lost confidence. That
Way
team
more
backs him up.
yards. Way
Way
more
more yards.
yards.
Like they're relying on him more. Everyone's stepping up. He has a good receiving core. Like this team is an interesting team to watch. I know the NFC West is going to be very, very hard for these teams, but again, that's why I picked them as my team to watch. Desmond, I'll go over to you. What were
Yeah.
your thoughts between the Bucks and the Seahawks?
A little behind the scenes things here for everybody. I make the YouTube thumbnails every single week, and I've been putting the best like four best matchups of the week
Mhm.
on the thumbnails, or who I think the four best matchups will be. This was my number one that I thought would be like the best matchup from last week. Because I think the thing about it is like I think a lot of people are giving more respect to the Buccaneers right now, but enough people don't really still think the Seahawks are that good.
Mhm.
So I was glad that they had a chance to kind of like showcase themselves a little bit because I think the Seahawks are a better team than people give them credit for. But yeah, that game was really back and forth. I loved it. Obviously, I have Emeka Buka on both my fantasy teams, so it was a big day for me as well.
Okay.
But no, I think what we are going to see both these teams in the playoffs. I'm going to get to that, I think, a little bit down, further in the podcast here. But I think these are two playoff teams. Great game. I'm looking forward to seeing more from them both, like throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna be keying on every single Bucks game, especially if it's close with 2 minutes, because like Nico and I think all of us have said, Baker is just so fun to watch in a clutch moment. That dude is crazy. So agree. And the Seahawks, like I said, I think they have great assets on both sides of the ball, and I wouldn't be surprised if they had some pieces at the trade deadline on that
And,
team to button everything up.
Yeah.
and I
Teach.
wouldn't be surprised if it's to shore up that defensive line,
Yeah.
get a couple corners, and on top of that, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the NFC championship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it could be. It very well
I
could
would
be. I
not be
mean, yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams where we'll discuss some things. There's a lot of teams out for the NFC, but I can see the Bucks, Seahawks. They're scrappy teams, and those are teams that usually find ways to win come postseason. Moving on to the next game. Again, we have four of our best matchups, and we'll talk about these comebacks. Even though I don't want to talk about the Saints coming back, but we will. Is Sunday night game between the Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. Patriots shocked the world, upsetting, if you will, the Bills winning 23-20. Um, I guess you guys were calling this the Drake May emergence game. I guess he's arrived here in Drake May. I'll go to you, CJ, to start off this one. But again, fun game. Drake May, some clutch plays down the stretch, upset the Buffalo Bills. Oh, I just want to also shout out Stephon Diggs, revenge game against his former team. 10 receptions, 146 yards. CJ, real quick, what are your thoughts? I know you're antsy to talk about New England and Buffalo.
I specifically asked not to be called on first, but the minute I heard this nonsense, right here, it's a revenge game. It ain't nothing more but a revenge game. And you know the NFL likes its glitz and glamour, so we're not gonna act like we're not gonna say it. Listen, the Bills would rather take one loss here and call it a throwaway game and cook their rankings and when it comes to they like listen, every team does it. I've seen it. This is a throwaway game. You got the trap games. Sometimes you win your trap games, and then you gotta give a throwaway game. This is their throwaway game. I'm not reading into this. Fuck the Drake emergence shit. Like this is the Drake. It's like this is just Drake. This is Stephon Diggs' revenge game. Outside of that, like the Bills needed a break. They've been James Cook has been playing
Mhm.
peak running back football. Like there are like five running backs that are single-handedly like bringing back the running back name. And James Cook, Alvin Kamara, and not in a lot of people's books, but in mine, Saquon Barkley are just two, and Bijan Robinson are just a few of the names that I feel are really starting to bring the value back into the running back. Even J.K. Dobbins with his little, like, because they thought he wasn't going to be able to hold up after his surgeries. You know what I'm saying?
You
But
standing up.
listen, the fact of the matter is, don't read too much into this. It is whatever. The Bills are good. It's later on in the season where I predicted their fall off is going to happen. This is the Drake May's a good quarterback. He's going to be a good quarterback. The Patriots still have more pieces and a good way to go.
Desmond, I see your hand raised. I'll keep this
Um,
civil as the host. Desmond, your
I
thoughts?
I completely want to read everything into this.
Oh
Uh,
my God. Oh
First of
my
all, I will
God.
say, have a little pick'em league we're involved in. The
Hmm.
31 people played last week. I was the only person to pick the Patriots. Thought this was a trap game. Division game, you never really can predict them, but what you can predict is the fact that the Bills are a little overrated.
Yes,
Okay.
agreed.
Yeah.
The Ravens, who they beat, are 1-4. The Jets are 0-5. The Saints are 1-4. And the Dolphins are 1-4. That's their 4 wins so far. And they weren't knocking these teams out. They were competitive and basically across the
Yeah.
board. So I
They
think
almost choked some of those games.
the Bills, might not be as good as we all assume that we know how good Josh Allen is. This is
Mhm.
not an indictment on Josh Allen. This is an
Oh,
indictment on the
oh,
team around him.
oh.
Do you? Okay, I'm sorry, but like the receiving core on the Buffalo
Yeah.
Bills is a bunch of regular name dudes you've never heard of before. They're
Siege,
not
I
good
know
receivers.
exactly where Siege is going to go, but Siege, real
But
quick,
before
I'll let
He's Ian
Desmond.
right now. No, he's Ian. I'm no.
Uh,
He's making me want to read into this because it's actually revitalizing the drive and the juice that I have in mind. The Buffalo Bills are gonna fall off this year, Top. Like
I
he's right. It's a bunch of scrubs from the bar. I think I was drinking with them guys last week.
so I'll end it by saying this. I felt like the Bills are going to the playoffs. I truly believe
yeah.
that. But I don't think they're this dominant force that the media was trying to like make them out to be the first few weeks. I thought that this game could have been won by the Patriots. Obviously it was. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens when they have to go down to Atlanta this week because I think that could end up being another
Mhm.
L for them. But I'll save that for later.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
I agree, Desmond. I know we reacted, CJ. I'll say it. I'll admit we reacted a little harshly to you when you said that the Bills were going to potentially fall off, and not the win the division part threw me off.
You said they
They
weren't going to make the
probably would win the
playoffs.
division. You said they weren't going to make the playoffs.
That's
I still think they'll make the playoffs. I think they'll win the division. But I agree with what Desmond is saying here that they're not this instant get in the playoffs Super Bowl team that
Okay, so let
everyone's
me say.
making out to be.
So let me say this. Let me say this. When everyone watches like the Buffalo Bills, do they never really see that like outside of like that one good receiver and then that backup receiver when that other receiver is like really like triple or double team and that one good receiver was Stephon Diggs. Like when like outside of that, does everyone ever realize that Josh Allen is like basically, I hate to say it, he's the white Lamar Jackson. He's going for like 50
Yeah,
yards
he'll
and
he'll run when he needs to. He was
he
if I'm
runs
reading
when
the stats
he's
right,
gonna
he was the
he's gonna
leading rusher
put
this week. Yeah, he was. He led the team in rushing. 9 rushes, 53 yards. The Patriots
yo
bottled up James Cook this week, 15 for
if
49.
if
Wow.
what we're not if we're really gonna talk about it, it's what you said. They lack a strong receiving core.
Hmm.
They don't have anybody to throw
Yeah.
the ball to. You know what I'm saying? And that's their problem. So when I sit here and I say, yo, they're gonna fall off, it's because in the long run, teams are gonna figure out how to bottle these guys up.
Yeah.
In the long run, you could only use James Cook to run for 700 yards for so fucking much
Yeah. Yeah.
before your offense becomes one dimensional. Your defense has become lethargic.
Yeah. I think that's the big issue. I think the Bills
Yeah,
defense is an
it's like
absolute
it's
mess.
like how many times can
Yeah.
you turn these? You're not going to blow teams out all the time
No.
because everyone's not going to suck. The question is when you go up against these resurging Kansas City Chiefs, when you go up against these Steelers that look like I don't know, like they're not going to go quietly into the night. When you come up against like these Jacksonville Jaguars with the bumbling Trevor Lawrence, like you kind of
Yeah.
wonder how strong is this Buffalo Bills team, or have they been just kind of going off the strength of their quarterback?
Yeah. No, I think it's a discussion to have, especially later on the season, especially if you look at the receiving right now. I'm like, and I love Dalton Kincaid. He's helping my fantasy team out, like my dynasty league. But trying to have Dalton Kincaid be your leading receiver as a tight end, and again, we've seen teams have some success with that. You look at the Saints back in the day with Jimmy Graham. I'm not saying Dalton Kincaid's Jimmy Graham, but the fact that he's your leading receiver with 6 receptions and 108 yards, and your next guy is Shakir with 6 for 45, and everyone else is under 40 is an issue going forward. Because again, I agree with what you're saying, CJ. Bottle up Kincaid, who is Josh Allen trusting right now? That breakout game. We have Shakir have some moments. We've seen, Palmer have some moments. We're waiting for Keon Coleman, it seems forever, to finally emerge. That hasn't happened. And then Dawson Knox is just non-existent. So I
Yo,
completely agree with what you have to say. It's a big discussion, and the Patriots deserve respect for upsetting the Bills this week. And again, I was more impressed with the Patriots going forward as a team to look out because they're definitely a team that's going to battle going forward, especially with the momentum with this win. But CJ, I'll
you
let you wrap it up here.
you just gotta look at it.
Yeah,
The game has evolved from what it used to be. There are no Terrell Davises running the game anymore. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You need someone who's going to catch the ball. They don't
yeah,
have anybody to catch the ball.
yeah. Yeah, and I think that's been a knock on this Bills team since Siston Diggs left. Is the question has always been who is going to replace Diggs, and they still haven't found a player yet to replace Stephon Diggs. So be
Listen,
interesting. They might trade for someone at the trade deadline, but we've seen how that happened about before when we thought, oh, Cooper was going to be a good fit for them, and I feel like he didn't really do much.
when I make my crazy takes, everybody be like, hey, man, he may not be the most sports savvy guy, but I'm still a sports savvy guy. Don't play
There you
with
go.
me.
There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. So with that, we'll talk for our fourth game. That was great, which was the Monday night game between the Jaguars and the Chiefs. Fun one. That ending was absolutely ridiculous. You saw Trevor Lawrence throw a Eli Manning-esque throw to Brian Thomas Jr. on the sideline there, where only he can catch it. Good to see Brian Thomas Jr. make a key play like that. I feel like he's been a disappointment this year. Maybe that kicks it forward. And then that last play from Trevor Lawrence, where I was screaming at the screen, oh no, this is not good. This is pretty. He's gonna throw it. He's gonna throw it away. And the fact he was able to trip over himself, well, trip over his own player, trip over himself, pick up the ball, and then just run into the end zone with no one near him to win that game was pretty fun. And then if you go back and look and you see Chris Jones just absolutely bail on that play and do absolutely nothing, I think is a bigger conversation on what's going on with this Chiefs team and if we're starting to see the end of the Chiefs dynasty. But the Jaguars get the win nonetheless, 31-28. And again, Chiefs fall to 2-3. Jags are now 4-1. They're in the driver's seat in the AFC South, which I don't think any of us expected the Jags to be in the driver's seat of anything this season, but they are. Travis Hunter had a couple incredible plays. And then again, that throw on that sideline to BTJ by Trevor Lawrence. was impressive to pretty much set up the game-winning drive. Um, yeah, I know we got a big discussion on if we're seeing the end of the Chiefs dynasty, but first, Desmond, what were your thoughts on this game?
Um, I'm actually kind of pass to Nico. I don't think he got a chance to
No,
jump in the last one.
yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Nico.
Yeah.
My bad. Bad hosting, I mean, Nico. I'll go you
No,
first.
Alex, no, you're chilling. But Drake May's the legit real deal. That's all I'm going to say there for the Patriots game. But I do want to talk Jacksonville. I know we're going to get to it in a little bit in the show, but I am so impressed with this Jacksonville team. Wiping everybody out, getting new coaching in there really can change the culture. And I don't know if you guys happen to see that viral video of in the locker room after the game. Just the
Mhm.
energy of this
Yeah.
Jaguars team is legit. And I'm really excited there. As far as the Chiefs dynasty, like you don't want to say it's the end. It's very hard to say it's the end of a dynasty, especially one of that caliber. Obviously, Mahomes still has many years left, and I think this is kind of the slump or the transition we saw going back to the Patriots when Tom Brady dominated and from arguably 2000 to like 2007. But
Mhm.
not a lot of people talk about that stretch from like 2007 to 2014 where they had their
Yeah.
Super Bowl appearances. They lost to the Giants. Like he didn't win. Tom Brady's still the GOAT. I'm very adamant about that. But I think that's the transition period that the Kansas City Chiefs are in right now. I think they're just kind of trying to figure out who they are, and they're not going to be that team that can win the Super Bowl. But I do think within the next few years, they're going to keep Andy Reid, keep the team, build around Mahomes, and I think it's kind of like exactly what we saw with Tom Brady.
Yeah, I agree with you there. With that, I mean, the Chiefs still, again, it's still early in the year. They're only 2-3. Probably should have lost to the Giants. I'll say that, but you know, they still have a window. But again, I'm more impressed with the Jags did bottling in, and then that 99 yard pick six was just fun, incredible to watch on that.
Awesome.
I knew right when Mahomes threw that pick, I was like, yeah, that's going back to the house. But yeah, no, I agree. I know a lot of people are saying this is the end of the Chiefs dynasty, but again, it's still early in the year. They're 2-3. They've shown flashes of what they could be, but I agree. I think there's still some pieces away. Is that salary cap stuff with some of the moves they've made potentially? The attitude of some of the players, are they now bored now that they don't have the chance for the three-peat? That could be a thing too. Players getting older. I agree with you. I have to say, Nico. I don't know if I'm going to go say it's the end of dynasty. I think there might just be a couple moves here and there, and then we'll see the Chiefs right back into prominence.
Yeah, scary
Siege.
five.
Yeah. Siege. What were your thoughts between the Jags and the Chiefs this week?
Stupidest game I watched, but I will say that I'm not feeding into the hype. I'm good. It's like you said, man. They're 2-3. It's 5 games. Um, you still have a bye week for them. There's still a trade deadline.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Things can change. And the Chiefs have looked bad before and won the Super Bowl. So we can't write them off yet. Now, week 10, looking crazy. Let's start talking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, then we can start sitting here being like, hey, okay, what's up with the Kansas City Chiefs? Like, how are they looking right now? But right now, don't feed into it. Um, Trevor Lawrence tripping and then ending up in the end zone tells me everything I need to know about Trevor Lawrence's career. But
Okay.
like
Yeah.
literally, like
Yeah.
first year bust. Not that he busted, but like his first year wasn't
Yeah.
that
Team
great.
was the best his first year. Yeah.
Second year, what injury?
Second year's injury. Second year was Urban Meyer,
First year.
right? First
Oh,
year was
That
Urban.
was
listen,
the first year.
First year was
hey,
Urban Meyer.
call it what you want. The fact of the matter is, Trevor Lawrence is a great football player and he's a good player. But him like him tripping, but then still getting the ball, like it almost feels scripted. Chris Jones like not really doing anything. He sold the play. Like, but at the same time, it was like first and goal.
Yeah.
So like they still had like like it was it did he sell or was he just like, yeah, fuck it. Like let's
Yeah.
just end this shit. Like at the end of the day, all I have to say is don't read too much. It was just a game. Like the Chiefs are okay. Travis Kelsey's probably gonna retire after this. He's getting married to fucking a Swifty.
Yeah.
Like I don't have time. Like I just There's so many other games to look into. This game's
Yeah,
trash.
yeah. Uh, I think everyone CJ's statement of is don't read into it too much. We go with the Bills, that with the Chiefs. Desmond, what were your thoughts on this matchup?
Oh,
I'm so
the
glad that I get to
Ravens
go
too. Wait till
after.
you get to the Ravens. Wait till
I'm
you
so
get to
glad
the
I get to
Ravens.
go after CJ twice now because I am so going to read into this again.
Oh my God, bro. We're supposed to be together on this one, bro.
Um, the Chiefs, they're finding all these different ways to lose. In the past, when they would find all these different ways to win. And I mean, the fact of the matter is that their defense isn't as good as it was in the past, and
Hmm.
their offense. I mean, we'll see what they look like when Rasheed Rice comes back in 2 weeks. But as of right now, like Mahomes looks out of sync with his people. Like Hollywood Brown got hit right on the shoulder with a pass that could have like
Yeah.
got them like into field
Yeah.
goal range. Travis Kelsey can't seem to figure out how to run routes the way Patrick wants him to, or at least he's not throwing it to where Travis thinks he's supposed to be throwing it. Like they're obviously not in sync right now. And I see a Detroit Lions team
Yeah.
who is looking really good, about to come into Arrowhead this week. And I don't like the Chiefs' chances. In fact, 6 of their next 7 games are against the Lions, Commanders, Bills, Broncos, Colts, and Cowboys. They're going to take at least 3 L's there.
Yeah.
Wait, whoa,
So
whoa, whoa, whoa,
I'm,
whoa,
I'm
Cowboys
like
no, but the other ones.
Cowboys
Run those, run
offense.
those, run those in order, in order. Run those six
Six of their
games.
next 7 games are against the Lions, Commanders,
Lost to the
Bills,
Lions, win
Broncos,
against the Commanders. They're gonna win against the Bills next.
Broncos,
They're gonna win that one.
Colts,
They're gonna lose that one, surprisingly. Not surprisingly.
Cowboys.
Continue. They're gonna beat that one. So what is
I,
that one?
What, 3 and 3?
okay, well, hold on,
Three and
hold on
three.
now.
Okay, all
I
right.
mean, that's still, I said they were going to lose at least 3 of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at that
No,
point in time, we're
it's
talking about like
recorded.
6 losses
It's
by
documented.
Thanksgiving. I just don't know. I think that the Chiefs actually might be in jeopardy here of not making the playoffs in an AFC to where
Yeah.
if you flip the script, actually, you look at the Jaguars schedule, they have a soft schedule going
Yeah.
for the rest of the season. I think
Give me their next 6 games.
I'm not going to do that right now.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find
But
it.
my point is, like you can look it up on Google right now. But no, the Jaguars schedule looks really soft. So I think I'm penciling the Jaguars into the playoffs right now. I think they're gonna make it.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
I mean, it's definitely fair. Let me see. Jags. I mean, they have to play an NFC West, but again, some of their matchups coming up. They'll play the Seahawks, they'll play the Rams, they'll
That's like
play
the two
the
toughest games on the
Raiders, they'll play
schedule.
the Texans, play the Chargers, and then they play the Cardinals. So I mean, they have
Oh
winnable
wow,
games. They have
wow,
winnable games. They should
wow.
beat the Raiders. They should beat the Texans. They should. The Chargers
I
are weird right
I
now.
hear
I don't
two
know
and
if I have full
four.
faith with the injuries
I hear
catching up.
two and
And then
four.
they should be going at least 3-3 over the, let's see,
Look
right?
at
Yeah,
their
Seahawks,
December though.
Rams.
I mean,
No,
it's
no,
it's so easy.
Oh, look at this. Yeah.
no,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
It's the bro.
They
It's
have the
the
Titans. They have
Jaguars.
the their back end of their schedule is prime
Soft.
time winning. Yeah. I'm
What?
not nervous about the Jaguars compared to the Chiefs.
What?
Oh.
Yo, I'm so glad this is archived. We're gonna run this shit back. Nah,
Again, we'll
legitimately.
make the clip if we're
Nah,
wrong.
we're
We can
gonna
run
run
the
this
clips
shit
back.
back. We're gonna run this shit back. I need y'all to see and make sure y'all clip this shit the fuck up when they
Yeah.
go 2 and 4 the next 6 games.
If
Like,
they if
listen,
they uh if they
they
disappoint me,
thrive.
I'll
They
make the clip.
thrive. They thrive. Yo, first of all, they thrive on a great defense and mediocre offense every fucking year. We are never gonna put the Jags in the conversation. This is the conversation. This is the
They won
Jags.
with Blake
We are never
Bortles.
gonna
Trevor
put them
Lawrence
in
is
it, yo.
better.
What?
They won when Blake Bortles was the quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is better than Blake Bortles, and they have a better defense now than they did back then.
Clips work
Uh,
both ways there,
Clips,
CJ.
clips,
So,
clips can work both ways. Nico, what were some of your thoughts here in this one? And then we'll go to you,
I'm
CJ. I promise.
I'm no
Nico.
no 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 I'm done.
Yeah. No. No. Like I was just saying before, Jacksonville's just I think the real deal. I really do, and I really don't think Kansas City is that. I wouldn't panic yet if I'm
Yo,
Kansas
bring me
City.
back in
Yeah.
this shit.
I just
Bring me
wanted
back in
Nico.
this
I
shit.
wanted Nico to wrap it up here. We had him.
yeah, we
I
got to
felt
move on to
bad
the next
because
topic.
we skipped over him. So get him in the start and the finish in
That's
this
fine.
matchup.
No, that's fair.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, with that, again, we'll start going through things quickly. Fun week this week again. I think we will call it the week of the comebacks. A lot of comebacks in this week. Unfortunately, featuring my favorite team, the New York Football Giants. I'll run through. I'm trying to find what I have in front of me in my notes. Okay. Titans overcame an 18-point deficit to defeat the Cardinals. Cardinals awful, tremendously bad loss to the Titans there. Panthers overcome a 17-point deficit to defeat Miami. Again, Miami trash team lose to the Panthers. How can you do that? Broncos we'll talk about here because that was an interesting comeback from them to bottle up to beat the Philadelphia 21-17. We hinted at it multiple times. Saints overcame an 11-point deficit to defeat the Giants 26-14. And then lastly, the Commanders overcame a 10-point deficit to defeat the Chargers 27-10. Um, Firstly, I want to go over to the Saints and the Giants, just because I have a quick little mini rant about my New York Football Giants. The Saints again overcame in 11-point deficit to defeat the Giants 26-14. The Giants lost this game. I'm not going to say the Saints beat the Giants. The Giants beat themselves. Just watching that game, the way they started and getting out on a quick lead and having Jack and Dart look comfortable, using your tight ends because every single wide receiver is hurt at some point in this game. You're going two tight end sets. The Giants were looking great early, and then just mistake after mistake. I think it was five straight drives with a turnover. One was a fumble six by Cam Scattaboo. And then an awful fumble on a moving drive by Darius Slane. He just dropped, and then again, Jackson Dart had another play where he looked to scramble. I don't even know how the ball fell out of his hands. It did. The Saints recovered. Once I saw that, I knew this game was a wrap. The Giants beat Spencer Rattler looked great in the second half. I don't know what Shane Bowen is doing half the time. I hate him as a defensive coordinator. I think he is the worst defensive coordinator in football right now with the team, the defense that he has. They have been underperforming in the pass rush, and then he goes into soft zone and makes Spencer Rattler look great because he just gives their receivers 10 yards of space, and then Shaheed has bomb touch. It was a whole mess. So I props to the Saints getting the first win with their new coach. Spencer Rattler finally breaks his 10-game losing streak, and of course it comes against my New York Purple Giants. But the Giants, you know, lost that game themselves. And I think that might be the nail in the coffin for both Joe Shane and Brian Dable. Because if you look at the rest of the schedule, they play the Eagles tomorrow, um, as the time is recording, and then the rest of the schedule is pretty damn tough. I can't see a win over these next like 6 weeks, unless again they beat these Eagles team tomorrow somehow because the Eagles play down to them. Whatever it gives me, it's gonna be a rough season again for the Giants, and I don't know when enough is enough. I know our owner is going through a cancer battle right now, and my thoughts and prayers are with him right now. And I hope he's focusing on that over this football team, and other people can step up for him in his absence. But I really wonder what the future of this Giants team is because I don't know where you can make the argument of Joe Shane to come back, or make the argument for Dable to come back, or if you let Dable go, then what's the point of keeping Shane around? Because he's equally had as bad of misery as leading this team. And yes, there's some pieces on this team that are going to be great, and I believe they are going to be really, really solid. But overall, this has been an absolute mess, and you brought them in to be a pair, and I think you have to have them leave as a pair. So with that, I'll get you guys' thoughts on that game, and maybe your thoughts on the Giants and or your thoughts on the Saints. So, Desmond, I'll go to you first. What were your thoughts on that Saints Giants game?
I'm just gonna keep it quick here because I know we got a lot of games
Yeah,
to get to. But like, I thought this might be a tough one for the Giants. I mean, their team is not that great right now. And then I think they knew that. They're probably going to be picking in the top five, top seven again, in the draft, which is probably what they need to do to build a team around Jackson Dart. So, I mean, the Saints aren't a good team, but they were playing everybody close.
yeah,
They've always had a good home field advantage, and I don't think the Giants are actually like there yet. So I wasn't really surprised by this pick. I actually picked this one this week. So yeah, the Giants got a little bit of growing pains going on right now.
yeah. It's been tough again, seeing growing pains for what feels the 11th
Yeah,
straight year.
your front
Uh,
office is what needs the overhaul, if we're
yeah.
being
That's right.
honest here.
Oh yeah, and I think there's people that are not being named that need to
Yeah.
get kicked out of the Giants for good as well. And we could talk about that
Yeah.
as the season rolls on. But we got, like I said, a lot to go through. So Nico, what were your kind of thoughts on this game?
Yeah, if you guys remember, 2 weeks ago, I went on a little rant about how the Saints might be the worst team in football history,
Yeah,
and not saying that I'm wrong yet, because I do think the Saints are very, very bad. But like Desmond said, I think this is a whole front office issue for the New York Giants. I really do think they have some bright spots. Scadaboo looks great. Even Dart, I don't even think had that bad of a game.
No.
Like I thought there was a lot of bright spots. And then obviously, like it's tough when his number one receiver right now is Wendell Robinson. But I really do think there is a future to build around. Giants led the league in sacks last year. They're having pretty good front four again this year to build around. I just don't know. Is it the coaching? Like I know what you're saying. You know your team more than I do, and I know coaching is an issue. But I just really think you had nobody on the Giants in the past decade, 7 years to a decade, has had a fair chance until they build around. So I really think it is a major front office issue, and they have pieces to build around. They just gotta figure out what's gonna stick and work.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, I'm not. I know there's a lot of people who are hating on Dable. I'm more of I don't like the coordinators. I mean, I'm
Fair,
fine with
fair,
Kev.
fair.
I'm not a fan of Bowen because time and time again, when the defense needs to make a stop, he does make some stupid play call, and it costs them games. And with the Saints, with that line and everything, you have and Spencer Rattler pressure him, and they got to him early, and it was working. And then all of a sudden, he went back to his soft zone bullshit, and you saw exactly what happened in that game.
Fair.
And then relying on the corners. So, like, again, I think it's more front office issue, but I think at the end of the day, what's going to happen is you brought in Dable and Shan as a pair, and I think if you're going to do everything, you have to get an overhaul. There's not really, to me, a way that you're going to clear the front office and then bring on a GM, unless he's already in the building, to sign on to keep Dable around. That's just me, and it's unfortunate because I do think Dable is a decent coach and a good motivator of players. It's just not working right now, and losing kills the team.
You're right, and I know it's early, but that's what you're seeing in Jacksonville. You're just seeing a culture shift, and maybe that's all they need is just a culture shift. So
Again, maybe it's new coach, and we'll see. It hasn't worked with the Jets yet, but for around the other leagues, for other teams who brought in new coaches, it has changed. CJ, real quick on this game before we talk about some other comebacks.
Yeah, I mean, not too much. I don't know if it was a blunder on the Giants or if the Saints were just due for a win, but I'm disappointed in the Giants for the most part.
Yeah.
It was a game that I thought they should have won. I'm glad I didn't put anything on the money line this week. I'm telling you right now,
I did
because I would have put the Giants down for that one because it's a game that they should have won. It's not even a trap game; it's just a game they should have won.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. It's more so that their number one receiver is down. And like when Wandale Robinson.
Yep, it's Wandale. We won't have Darius Slayton tomorrow. So it's Wandale. Our three receivers right now going in tomorrow is Wandale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, and Bo Collins. And then Gunner, I can't even pronounce his last name, but our punt returner and kick returner.
Do you guys know who the number one receiver on the Saints is? Not their actual number one receiver, but who has the most receiving yards currently.
Probably Johnson, tight end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that is 100% correct.
Yeah,
it is Juwan Johnson. And for that reason, there in itself is a reason why I feel like the Giants should have won that game, because there is no number one fucking receiver. Like, don't get me twisted. Rashid's good, still doesn't matter. The Olave, who? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, apparently, like, you're not good enough because the tight end is over there having his Jonnu Smith season. Like, that's all I'm saying. So it
could also be Rattler too. I mean, Rattler's been a little bit of a mess, but also the quarterback, Spencer Rattler.
Exactly. Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. He will be who.
Yeah, they should have traded for Joe
come
Flacco.
this year's NFL draft when they take a quarterback. So with that, we'll talk some of the other comebacks. We'll go. I guess we'll go over to Tennessee. Tennessee getting their first win. I guess you would consider an upset because it's an 18-point deficit and a win. Defeating the Cardinals 22-21. What a terrible loss. I just can't get over how bad of a loss it was for the Cardinals. Like, I was expecting that game to just be a blowout. Like, a make-right game for the Cardinals. You steamroll this Titans team. Who their quarterback, the Titans quarterback, Cam Ward, said their team was ass leading into this game. I kid you not, he says their team was ass. And you blow an 18-point
lead. Say that shit again?
Cam Ward, their leading quarterback after their starting quarterback, their number one overall pick in the draft after a recent loss leading into this game, called his team ass. They said we're ass right now. And the Cardinals did not take that to their advantage, and you blow an 18-point lead. Awful loss. Desmond, I'll go to you for this because I know me and you are similar when it comes to the Cardinals and how we feel about them. Desmond, what did you think about this one?
Man, if this happened to the Eagles, they would have burned the city down the next day. I mean, not even the next day, the same day. They would be calling
Yeah,
for everybody to be fired. Everyone's job would be on the line. Phoenix is a terrible sports town, which is why they'll be able to get away with this. Kyler Murray should have been out of there.
yeah.
That the running back, DeMarcado, he is never going to forget that play for the rest of his life.
Nope. They made a whole show about it on Hulu or whatever. Chad Powers is to say it's a statement.
I
We're gonna have a
mean,
DeMarcado version of that down the line.
NFL memes on Instagram, they had a field day with that game, had the circus music going for all the clips. I mean, honestly, good for the Titans finding a way to win. The Cardinals are still the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yo, what
Nico.
happened for some of us that missed the play?
Uh,
There,
so the Cardinals running back broke a 70-yard run and on like the 2-yard line celebrated early
Oh,
and dropped the
stop.
ball
He
and
dro
fumbled it.
he did a
Uh,
Yeah.
he did
and
a
then
A
oh
lot
my
of people
God,
have done it now. So, I
A lot
mean,
of people,
yeah,
yeah.
ridiculous.
It's
Mitchell
been,
and Adonai Mitchell just did
Donnie
it two
Mitchell did
weeks
it the
ago.
week,
last
yeah,
week.
last week. He
Yeah,
did it last
Sean
week.
Jackson
What?
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deshaun
Yeah.
Jackson's done it. It's been a thing in the NFL. Everyone, can you just make sure you cross the end zone before you
Yeah.
drop the
I
football or throw it into the stand? Please, can we
The
make that common practice?
retardinals. The
I had
retard that's the
Yeah,
retardinal
those meme.
meme.
Yeah.
Oh
That
my
Alex Alexander group. Yeah.
God.
So yeah,
I have a pretty interesting take on this.
yeah. Go
First,
Nico.
first I want to say two plays that were actually crazy in this game where like obviously the Cam Ward interception, fumble, touchdown by Tyler Lockett.
Hmm.
I just imagine having a Tyler Lockett anytime touchdown ticket, and that's how you cash your
Yeah,
bet
yeah.
on that play. But besides the fact after that crazy play, again, all I'm going to say is I think an NFL player should have two things in their contract, or needs to be added. I think it was absolutely terrible that Jonathan Gannon got fined, getting to his player's face, grabbing
Yeah.
him, being physical with them. To an extent, he is another grown man. You shouldn't put your hands on anybody. But I think if you don't cross the plane just to throw the ball, it happens so much. One, you should be cut the next day, and your coach should be able to maybe throw a punch or two at you. Just throwing it out there. Like, I'm not supporting abuse or anything like that,
No.
but like that is just like it just can't happen. Like there's certain things in a professional football game that just can't happen, and like just do that. Like just you cannot do that. Like so many things is going to happen. Like come week 16 from now, when you're one game out of the wild card or one game up on the wild card spot, you're going to have these plays that replay in your head, and like something as simple as just running one more inch and just celebrate after. Run to the back. Once you cross the back end zone line, then celebrate. Like it just can't happen. It's
Yeah.
inexcusable.
Oh
There's nothing
no.
that he can say that can resurrect, especially after. And I don't mean to be long-winded, but after Jonathan or James Conner goes down, and after Trey Benson goes down, you're fighting for a spot with Michael Carter. Like you don't know who's going to be the lead back, and you have 4 weeks while what's called Benson's on the IR to make a name of yourself and possibly get picked up by another team. You are
Yeah.
done. A play like
Yeah.
that, like your career is arguably over. If Carter's going to be the guy the next 3 weeks going forward now, this was your opportunity to prove yourself and possibly get picked up and make a name for yourself in someone in this league. But unfortunately, I think he should be done after that, and I think he will be. I don't think
Yeah.
he'll ever get the chance to shine.
And I think
Yeah.
Michael Carter stole. Like I mean, he performed well in that game overall compared to that. But that play makes one a difference, and two makes yourself shine. Like oh, you can be a home run hitter in this
Yeah.
league. And I completely agree with you. Like him doing that changes your whole mindset of what you're doing. You're going to rely on Carter because he performed on his touches. And yeah, he had that big run when he had his opportunity, but the fact that he fumbled it and cost the team points, brutal. And just real quick on that confrontation, I don't agree with them getting fined because you have to hold your players accountable. And them doing that is now going to limit that coach and feeling like he can hold his player accountable. Yeah, you maybe you should have gone physical, but come on, everyone. Like you have to show the team you're holding everyone accountable, and the fact that now that's kind of diminished. Little tough, but agreed. You can
What
yell. I feel
happened?
like yell, but the hand stuff I understand. But Siege,
Hold on.
what
Hold
were your
on.
thoughts, real quick? Yeah,
What happened?
the coach after the fumble got like all up in his face, and it got a little physical with like pushing and shoving, and he got fined the head coach got fined $100,000 because of the altercation that
He
happened
walked up to him,
following
sort of
the
like he's like
fumble.
smacking his chest like this,
Chest,
but like
yeah,
kind of hard, and
hard,
like people
and
took offense to it when they saw the
and
clip come
cussing it, yeah,
online.
and cussing him out over him
Hey,
doing that, and he
listen,
got
man.
fined.
Hey, listen, man. I ain't gonna say shit to offend the liberals. All I'm gonna say is the sports getting a little soft.
Yeah,
You're
I think we agreed on that.
listen, listen. Do you understand what the job of a coach is? A coach is to build other men, and and not even well, that's just a coach of men because they have a coach of women too, and they have their role, but it's also the same thing in the same way. You are in a sense one person who is also a man or a woman trying to tell other men or women what to do. And if you know anything about human nature, a lot of us do not like that shit. You know what I'm saying? It takes a very strong individual, someone with very commanding skills. You know what I'm saying? It, a coach's job is not easy. For them to find this coach, for him, in my belief, coaching is fucked up. That's the only highlight I have on this game.
Yeah,
Outside of that, the Cardinals are just the Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? They're my dark horse, but they're the Cardinals. That's why they're my dark horse.
yeah.
Like they might make it. Like and if they make it, be careful. I told you. I warned you.
Yeah.
It's sneaky. But outside of that, it's the Cardinals. But it's a good win. It's a good win for them. Bad win for the Cardinals. It is what it is. That's just my take on it. Two, stop. Don't find these coaches. Stop. Like, don't turn this into powder puff. Don't wave the pom poms. Like, he's trying to teach this grown ass man, someone who already thinks that you can't tell him what to do because he grown. That you can't do that dumb shit.
Yeah.
That this ain't about you. This is about the fucking team. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Siege, on all that. It's just some stuff with the league with refs. We can do a whole podcast episode on that. But I agree with the head coach. I think you should be allowed to coach your players. Again, where some people take offense, whatever the case might be, with the players' union might have gotten upset with how the coach handled it. Sure, and that's what we got. But we should prevent that going forward. But we'll move along. We'll move along. We'll go over to this game. And I know it hurts for Desmond here, but we'll go over to the Broncos overcoming a 14-point deficit to defeat Philly 21 to 17. Uh, Again, I was watching that one. Was surprised the Broncos came back. But again, if that was the game, the Eagles to lose, that was probably the team. Just the Eagles overall have just not impressed me so far, which is why I think tomorrow we'll talk about it later. Can be an interesting game depending on what happens. I know the Giants have no one to throw the ball to, but just because the Eagles haven't been impressive. But fact, Bo Nix and Broncos get that win, overcome a deficit, beat this Eagles team. I was impressed. So Desmond, I'll go to you first, and we'll go over to Siege. Desmond, since you're the Eagles fan of the group, what were your kind of thoughts on this game, and are you concerned about the Eagles going forward?
Partially, but not like huge yet. I mean, if you were to tell me that like you're gonna face the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Rams, the Buccaneers, and the Broncos as your first 5 games of the season, and you're
Mhm.
gonna go 4-1, would you take that? I would say yeah every time. Like that's easy. Like
Yeah,
okay, 4-1 from that schedule, yeah, we're good. Um, I think it's how we're having struggles a little concerning because for me, it feels like as an Eagles fan, it feels to me like there's two big things wrong. One, our offensive line is obviously hurt. Like they are hurt. Like I can see it. They're not getting the push off the line that they were last year. I mean, them guys trying to like come off for running plays.
yeah,
They're getting stoned right in the mouth. They can't get anybody off the blocks. On passing plays, I'm seeing dudes give up sacks they normally wouldn't in the past. And our offensive coordinator, he don't really seem to know how to call the game the right way. I'm not sure if he's going to figure it out, how long it's going to take. But in the meantime, we're asking our defense to do a lot of heavy lifting, and they're not going to be able to hold up every week, holding teams under 21 points every single week. You can't ask that of your defense every single week.
no,
So, um, yeah, this team is not as good as the team from last year, but I think that, if a few tweaks are made, we can be. But, I think, time will tell. So I think for right now, I'm not too hung up about the loss. I mean, it's the NFL, you're not going 17-0. I mean, at least I don't. I mean, it's pretty damn hard to do so. It's only been happening twice in history to go through regular season undefeated. So, yeah, it was eventually going to catch up to us, but hopefully we'll get that stuff figured out in the next few weeks here with some games that, no offense to Alex, two games against the Giants and the Vikings and a bye week. I feel like we should be able to get some things figured out.
Yeah, hopefully. If you don't, I think there'll
It'd be
be
good for
some
you though
concerns.
if we
It'll be
don't
good for
get it.
me. I'll
Yeah.
be happy. You guys have steamrolled us for the last like 5 years. It'll probably happen again tomorrow in MetLife. But we'll see. It could happen, but yeah, I think tomorrow will be telling to see if the Eagles are getting right back on track. But CJ, I know you had up kind of what are your thoughts on the Broncos win, or even if you want to talk about if you're concerned about the Eagles this year.
So, two things. One, I think it was three times, Desmond. I want to
Yeah.
say it was the Patriots and they lost in the Super Bowl. I want to say it was the Hank Stram Chiefs that went undefeated, but they won the Super Bowl. And then I no, was it? Or was it the Bills?
I'm not
And
What
sure.
do
then they
you?
lost. They back when
Going undefeated in the regular season.
yeah, when they were like when they had the four stretch,
Oh,
that
like
4 year.
The early
the
90s.
dominant starts and then they fall apart kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, when they had the 4 years back to back going to the Super Bowl but never won. And then there was the Dan Marino, but they lost. The 17 and no was it Dan Marino or was that
No, this was the
the
No,
Don
1972
Shula?
that was the
Dolphins,
70s. Yeah,
1974, 72 Dolphins, one of those
yeah,
2
Dolphins? Yeah,
years.
that
Yeah,
Yeah.
was
that was
them.
way before
That was
Marino.
them. That was them. That was way before Marino. Sorry. So yeah, I think it was three teams. I think it was three teams. Um I don't want to look into this too much. Um I wanted to agree with Desmond, but then Desmond said he was a little bit concerned. So I'm not concerned at all. It's just offensive line worries. The only thing that I'm concerned with is, but this is something I've always felt about Jalen Hurts, his inconsistency throwing the ball.
yeah.
Yeah,
I will say
That's a big
that.
issue.
Um,
yeah.
the biggest thing that should be concerning for people that's new as an Eagles fan, for Eagles fans, is Saquon Barkley's inconsistency this year.
But
So
I
that could be
honestly,
attributed to the offensive line a little bit too, though.
yeah. I mean, for
yes.
me, watching this game, it feels like when he gets the ball, he's running into a brick wall. Like in the past, if you watched it last year, he actually was like leading the leagues in like yards before contact, which is like
Yeah,
Hmm.
indicative of like the offensive line whooping that ass. And
and
this
then
year was
giving
the
him a hole.
exact
Yeah,
Hmm.
opposite.
yeah.
So I
And
mean,
that's
I
got
feel
to
like
do
our
with,
our line's just beat up right now. Like they're
He
not
has to go
doing
back to
anything.
Giant Saquon where he has to bounce
so
like
what's
seven
going on with
times in the
Lane
final time.
Johnson? What's going on with
I think
Jordan
they're all
Mailata?
hurt. I really
What's
I
do.
think
going
everyone's
on? Like,
banged up.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're quite beat up. They had to put a lot of effort in to winning that Super Bowl. People don't realize that. They think that it was just like, oh, it was so easy. They cakewalk the league. No, they bullied the league, and that tush push is not something easy. But that's
No.
all I got to say. I'm not looking into the Broncos winning this game. This is not even a trap game. This is also a gimme game. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
All right, Nico, I'll go over to you. What were your kind of thoughts between the Broncos and the Eagles this week?
Yeah, last week I had this as arguably like my game of the week going into it. Um, I really think the Broncos are a solid team. I think the line being
I
three and a
don't.
half in Philadelphia really said something to me. Vegas knows what they're doing, and that line being that low for the Eagles at home, like really felt like it was a Broncos game. But the one thing, as Desmond hit on earlier, he said the team isn't as good as last year, and my take on that is I agree for right now. The difference is they don't have that killer instinct. Last year, when that team went up, they were sitting on the ball. They were not giving to the ball. They're going on 10-minute drives, getting points. This was another situation where the Eagles were up 17-3 and they just couldn't put the game away. Like similar to the Browns game in London that morning. Like just teams that just can't put the game away. And I think that's the difference between this year's Eagles team and last year's right now is they just don't have that killer instinct to go out there, sit on the ball for 10 minutes, get 3 yards of play, go for it on 4th and 1. And is it because they're hurt? Is it because they're banged up? I'm not too sure. But I really do think they're going to figure that out 5-6 weeks from now. And I still think the Eagles are arguably the best team in football.
I don't believe that they're gonna figure it out, to be honest. I'm sorry, Nico. I
Fair,
really don't believe they're gonna figure it out. But
fair.
I do not want to worry about it. But I will say that the one thing that that's always stood out about this Eagles team that people are not really understanding is Jalen Hurts' inconsistencies. But that's literally it.
We'll see. That's why I'm looking. Every time I see Jalen Hurts at MetLife, I'm not at the game tomorrow. My dad's all the tickets. Every time Jalen Hurts goes to MetLife, he just turns into a different quarterback where he turns the ball over a lot, which is why I'm like, maybe just maybe the
Yo,
Giants have a chance.
this has been the
Maybe.
season. This has been, and I like that because this has been the season of changing the narratives.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm down for it.
Yeah. But every time I've seen
Y'all
Jalen
lucky
Hurts
my
at MetLife,
quarterback in a
he's
playoff
had
game
some
this year.
questionable turnovers. Like I've literally seen him throw some interceptions where I even scratched my head and I was like, am I watching Daniel Jones or I'm watching one of the supposed better quarterbacks
And
in the league?
and
Um, but yeah.
and I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I wholeheartedly believe that they're not trying to pay AJ Brown
They already paid him.
because
They paid
yeah,
him,
of
but they
course
might
they
move
paid.
on from him.
Oh no, of course they paid him, but in order to keep him
I mean, they just signed him to an
and lower
extension.
and lower his money, they're gonna be like, yo, look, you didn't perform how you performed last year, so we're gonna lower how much money you get to
We have to
keep you on the
restructure it.
team.
He's not going to do that.
Ex-
They'll ship him out.
I mean, they
ex-
just gave him an extension for
exactly.
another few years, and they gave him more guaranteed money. So this
Yeah.
conspiracy theory is going to fall a little bit flat,
He's
my
going to
friend.
fall. He's going to fall a little flat
Sorry.
unless you remember, and then he gets mad and disgruntled, and they try to trade him. But again, there'll be a little issues. But
I,
Call me
yeah,
Ocho.
you got me go real quick, and then I'll move
yeah.
on. We're not going to talk too much about the Panthers when the Dolphins.
No,
The Dolphins
we can skip
are.
that.
I'm not
We'll probably
saying
skip
anything
that.
about
Yeah.
it.
But I
I'm
do
not
want to have,
saying
yeah.
anything
But
about
Nico,
it.
real quick before we move on from that,
Yeah.
as a
The only thing is like I do think the Eagles structured that contract though, however, in a way where somebody will take that on. I don't think it's a ridiculous contract for a team to be like, well, like I still think if the Eagles do decide to move on for him, I know a little off the show we or even at the beginning of the show we had this conversation like Devontae Smith and like possibly not give wide receiver one. But I do think there is a
They're gonna.
possibility where going back to that take that. I don't know, Alex. I think you had it with the Buffalo. Like they don't have that receiver.
yeah.
Keon Coleman hasn't been that guy. Is that a team where the Eagles find out like we don't really need a guy like AJ Brown? We're still winning football games, and Buffalo Bills
Exactly.
will take on that contract. And AJ Brown is Buffalo Bill, and the Eagles find a need piece that they have, whether that be in the secondary or at the linebacker unit. And
Look,
is that something that we could possibly see between two massive teams that are arguably the two best teams in their respective conferences that we haven't seen in
I
years?
look how
if
John
they
Mechie's been playing.
yeah. But if they
He
do
hasn't.
do that, if they do that, I think it'd be in the offseason.
Fair.
I
It's
don't
tough.
think it would be. I don't think it'd be a mid-season trade, especially if both
Typically,
teams are doing well. I can't see the Eagles being like our potential Super Bowl opponent. Potential. We
yeah.
give him our leading receiver. It could be a huge offer from Buffalo, but I think they would entertain that maybe in the offseason.
Like I
Maybe.
said, it's something that would be my conspiracy theory. It's
Yeah.
something that hasn't been done. Like it's usually a team that's out of it trying to trade their guy, but it would be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yo,
Definitely
Uh,
interesting.
I'm just saying, my conspiracy theory is they're gonna find a way to move on from AJ Brown. And
we'll
and
see.
so far they've limited his play that way because you're telling me this man's look, yo, he's been fucking up more than just fantasy stats, like betting, pools, all of that shit. This shit is not going good.
And he throws people
Parlays.
under the bus too, which is not helpful.
I would Jalen Brown this nigga. like,
We'll see. We'll see. But again, we're not going to really talk about the Panthers overcoming the Dolphins because both teams are bad and both teams are a mess. It was
yeah,
fun
move on
hearing
from
Eric
that.
Collins act like every single play was a 99-yard touchdown. The guy who was calling the game
Oh
for the
yeah, that
Panthers.
announcer.
He's a bouncer for the Hornets. He's calling every play like it was a 99-yard touchdown, which has made the game entertaining, especially with two teams that are like awful. But with that, we'll just talk briefly. We're not going to go deep dive here, but the Commanders overcame a 10-point deficit to beat the Chargers, 27-10. Jane Daniels came back. The Commanders look getting things back on track, but I kind of want to just quickly talk before we move over to other subjects because I don't want to go too long on this podcast. Uh, this is now the second straight defeat for the Chargers, and I want to pose a question, and I'll go to you, Desmond, first. Are the Chargers in trouble here? We were speaking very high of them the first 3 weeks of the season. This is now two straight losses, and they blew a 10-point deficit in this one against a banged up Commanders team. Uh, are are the Chargers in a little bit of trouble, or do you think it's okay? The Commanders came back, Jane Daniels is back. They got right back. This is the game the Commanders used to get right back on track. Desmond, I'll go to you.
I'm gonna keep it real quick. Commanders surprised me. I actually didn't think they could win this game. They're better than I thought they were going to be. Chargers are kind of being the Chargers. Their schedule is kind of tough for the rest of the year, so I'm not going to be surprised if this team falls more into a 10-7 range, struggling to make the 7th seed in the playoffs.
Yeah, agreed. Again, I know the Chargers are getting banged up now. They're not going to have a Marion Hampton. And yeah, their defense has been a little shaken up, not as performing as the first week of the season. So, um, Commanders have Daniels back, and I think that makes a threat in the NFC if he can get his confidence and they got a big win. I think the Chargers are a little bit of trouble here. We'll see if they can bounce back, but again, their injuries are starting to pile up. Supposed to running back room, offensive line, and now two straight losses to NFC East teams, including one team that shouldn't have beaten them in the New York Football Giants, and they did. Nico, real quick, I'll go to you. Do you think the Chargers are in trouble here, or was it just a good win overall by the Commanders?
I personally think it was just a good win by the Commanders. I do like that team a lot. I do like Jaden Daniels. I like the coaching there, and I really think they are one of the best teams of football. As a Chargers fan, I wouldn't panic too much right now, just because, yes, they do have some tough games on that schedule, as Desmond mentioned. But their next 4 weeks, you go Miami, the Colts, Minnesota, and Tennessee. Very four winnable games to get back on track. And I think Harbaugh and Justin Herbert figured that out. And coming up in my later segment, I have a little take and a little pick for this game that I really think is going to really revive the Chargers.
Like it. I'm excited to hear that pick. CJ, real quick before we move on to our next topic, what were your thoughts kind of on the Commanders win over the Chargers here?
I don't agree with Nico. I feel like you panic right now. You start to kind of feel a little worried. And I feel like out of those four games you mentioned, I feel like they only win one, to be honest, and they should be a little worried about that. The Colts, Daniel Jones is looking strong. I'm not thinking that this is a floppy season for him. I'm thinking that he fits that system, and he's the quarterback they need over there. Minnesota, be scared. They're. I don't think that they can hold up against Minnesota, and yeah, I feel like it's just be wary. Just be very wary. That's just my take on that.
Alarm bells are ringing for the Chargers here. We're gonna go to another topic. We'll probably have some topics for the next episode. I don't want to go too long here, but I kind of want to go in a general discussion here on one thing before we go into our picks. And then Nico, like we said, who's been on a heater, he's going to give some picks of his own. But I want to go this talk, and then we'll go to our picks. We're going to talk. We're about to be in week 6. I'll go around. You can pick a team, two teams here. Which team is the biggest surprise for you guys, and which team has been the biggest disappointment? I guess I'll kick this one off. Biggest surprise, we talked about them, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I did not expect them to have this start to the season. Sorry if I took people's picks here.
Yeah.
Them being 4-1 to start the year, beat the Chiefs. I didn't think they have a chance. They're in the clear driver's seat to me in the AFC South. I know you have the Colts, but I thought the Texans were going to run away with the division. That to me is looking like an awful pick. So I'm going to go Jacksonville Jaguars here, tied with the Colts in AFC South, 4-1 start, notable win against the Chiefs this week. Both sides of the ball has been playing great. So I'm going to go there. And I guess biggest disappointment is for me, and then we'll go around. You guys give us your teams. Is the New York Jets. I did not expect the Jets to be the team to not have a win this year to start the year. I
Yeah.
thought getting Aaron Glenn coming in and him changing the attitude and them in at least the first few weeks of the season having close games. I'm like, okay, it's going to break for them. You guys heard me say that on this podcast. But the fact that we're now in week 5, the last 2 weeks they've gotten their asses kicked, and it was against the Cowboys, whose defense I think I could start and throw maybe 200 yards against that defense. Just use the Jets as a make right game. Yeah, not good. So that's why those are my two teams. Biggest surprise, Jacksonville Jaguars. Biggest disappointment are the Jets because, like I said, I did not have them on my list to start the year without a single win. Nico, I'll go to you. Who was your biggest surprise this year and your biggest disappointment so far?
Yeah, my biggest surprise is the Colts. If you
Yeah.
looked at this team on paper before the year with Daniel Jones, especially what you saw, like you just did not expect anything. Everyone was very shocked actually. 2 weeks before the season when they announced that Anthony Richardson would not be the starting quarterback. At least I know I was for sure. And on paper, this team has a great offensive line and a great run defense, but you just or run offense, but you just figured that teams were just going to stack guys in the box and they wouldn't be able to do much, but now with Daniel Jones, like they have a lot to offer. You got to watch the quarterback run. You have a lot to watch the line. They're a scary team, and the Colts are legit. They are a legit football team, and I'm excited to see what they have. Then, as my biggest, I guess, like my letdown would be the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm.
You say what you want to say, like you're not fair to say like oh Lamar and what everything. Like Desmond, I'm sorry, Bars, I'm sorry if I got your picks here.
Someone took his pick.
Uh, yeah, yeah, Cooper Rush. I'm not going to say anything about him. Last week, like, yeah, just an awful week. But before that, too, just even with Lamar, I don't know if like someone they not that quote unquote figured him out, but the Detroit Lions game, the Kansas City game, like he just could not escape past that second level. They put a quarterback spy. You're so used to Lamar breaking past the offensive line, and he just couldn't. Same thing with Derrick Henry. Like it's just not something's not clicking there, and I'm very, very scared for that Ravens team. Obviously, if they somehow get the 9-8 and they sneak into a playoff spot, yeah, it's scary. But they're looking like they're going to be starting like 1-6 possibly. If Lamar's really going to be out a couple more weeks, it's scary. Scary times if you're a Baltimore fan.
Yeah, I agree. And then I'll bounce over to Desmond. I just want to say this with the Ravens for years, I think all of our childhood and even now, they've been known for their defense. The fact that that defense, we all picked them like, oh, their defense is great. Both sides
Yeah.
of the ball, great. You have Lamar. The fact that that defense is non-existent is just absolutely shocking to me. And again, you see Lamar's values out, but again, even when, like you said, Nico, when Lamar was playing, they were still struggling on both sides of the ball. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if maybe they're just tired of the Harbaugh thing. Maybe it's time to move on. I don't really know. But to me, the key thing is that's most damning to me is that that defense, which has always been that stalwart of that franchise, has been as mediocre as it been. Probably one of the worst defenses franchise history. And that's saying a lot. That's
Yeah.
saying a lot. So again, that's to me like again, I think it'll be fine. You have Lamar and all that. Him being out is brutal, but just the fact that this Ravens defense just doesn't look and does looks awful. I'll just when I would say looks awful is just crazy to me because we've grown up with some of the best defenses coming from that Baltimore Ravens team. So Desmond,
Great point.
I'll go to you. Who was your biggest surprise and who was your biggest disappointment so far?
And keep it, yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it simple here. Biggest surprise, the 49ers.
Hmm.
4-1 with all those injuries. I mean, like every single person that you could think of who'd be notable for the 49ers either left them this offseason or got injured. And they are playing when I said earlier that the Bills are playing with a bunch of regular name dudes at the
Yeah.
receiver position, that is like the whole 49ers roster outside
Yeah.
of like Christian McCaffrey right
I
now.
think they're
And like
calling
in
Don't
people
do
to show
that.
up on the
and
field.
one.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do
Yeah.
that.
No, I mean like who okay,
Is
besides
Jawan
Warner,
Jennings their number one receiver
besides
right now?
Don't
Warner
do
and
that. Don't
Christian
do that.
McCaffrey, can you name a person on the 49ers right now?
Fred Warner,
I just said besides Warner.
Warner. Uh,
Jimmy
I
Gr-
mean, you got Mac Jones and
Jimmy Ward.
Brock Purdy. Let's go not easy like I gotta say I think it's Jawan Jennings is their starting receiver right now, right? Like he's like their number is there like he's their number one or something like that right now?
Um, I actually
Yeah, he's
forget.
banged up.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Actually, he's banged up,
Him and
but
Ricky
is he
Pearsall, but they're both injured
yeah,
right now.
yeah.
So
Warner.
yeah,
George
no,
Kittle.
who's injured right now?
Kittle's injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's not looking good for them right now. So, but they're four
Oh,
and
oh, I
one.
got one. I got one. Brian
We're gonna
Robinson Jr.
Oh,
Oh, okay, okay,
that's a
okay.
decent pull. Okay,
That,
Desmond, continue.
that's a good one.
Decent pull. Decent
But
pull.
yeah, so they're 4-1. They're facing the Buccaneers this week, who are also 4-1. That's gonna be a sneaky good game. But also my biggest disappointment for this year so far has been the Raiders. I
Uh,
really thought
mm,
the Raiders would be better than they are. I mean, I wasn't expecting them to like, be like a 12-win team or something like that. But we are talking about a team that is 1-4. I thought Chip Kelly coming over from Ohio State would actually be doing better with the offense. I thought Ashton Genty would be utilized a little bit better. I thought that Brock Bowers would utilized better. Geno Smith has looked like New York Jets, Geno
He's
Smith.
washed, man.
I mean,
That's
so
bad.
yeah, the whole experiment looks like it's already about to fall on their face. I mean, like they're gonna be. I mean, if they're smart, they should be selling at the trade deadline. Hopefully,
Yeah.
get some more assets because they got to rebuild that thing. Because the Raiders look like the Raiders, and it's
Yeah.
kind of sad for Raiders fans because yeah, I know that the Raiders fans actually care. So
Sorry, other Alex, who is a diehard Raiders fan.
they got
Yeah.
beat 40-6, man.
Yeah. Yeah. He got to see a win though. He did get to see them beat the
That
Patriots. I guess he has one shining moment this season, just like I have one
Yeah.
shining moment of seeing my team beat the Chargers.
that is like a college football score.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just that's bad.
Gino, that contract is looking absolutely terrible. I think he's leading the league in interceptions, and it's only going to get worse. He
Yeah.
just looks absolutely lost, and I don't know if it's a Chip Kelly thing. I don't
I
know
don't know
what's
what the
going on
defense
I
off the
think
right
it's
hook
a
now.
Chip
either
Kelly thing.
Yeah,
because they
I
like 40
honestly really
points.
think it's a Chip Kelly
yeah.
thing because Chip Kelly sucks. Like,
Chip
and
Kelly.
he
Yeah, I
no,
mean,
he sucked over there in the Eagles, and he sucks. Like, he's a college coach, and he doesn't know how to adapt to the NFL system, bro. He thinks that he could just play all college systems and all college schemes. Like, and no, you can't. These grown men are way past that little boy shit.
yeah. I think with like I've been not going to go to history of Chip Kelly. I think it worked initially out, but then teams figured him out, and then he went
Yeah,
back to college, and then he came back, and I
who
think
brought
he's
him
trying to run a
back?
similar thing, and teams are figuring him out because he runs. I don't know some system that's easy to read because
Ooh,
Geno
is it?
Smith is throwing. And am I blaming Chip Kelly for all of Geno Smith's picks? No,
Is
but
it?
there's something, and the fact that like he tried to change Ashton Genty's stance. The dude had the Mike Myers stance. That's the most intimidating freaking thing I've ever seen on the football
Him and
field. You
Jameer
try to,
Gibbs.
yeah, you tell him to switch
Yeah,
that,
give
and then
his
and then and then this week, Ashton Genty or the week before was like, yeah, screw that. And went back to the Mike Myers and had the best career game of his career right now as a rookie.
because that's
So
Yeah.
his run. That's his.
yeah,
You can't
but
tell a
why?
dog
Yeah,
to change his way. Like,
no,
come on,
no,
bro.
and that's what I'm saying. I don't know why Chip Kelly's trying to do that. So I don't I like the pick to for Desmond. I think they're disappointing. Like you just
Yeah.
clearly see there's already stuff happening in this Pete Carroll where we all thought, oh, Pete Carroll come in, culture changer. They're still having issues. So with that, CJ, before we go to our picks and Nico's picks, we'll go to some other topics on the next podcast. We don't go too long here. Who's your biggest surprise and who's your biggest disappointment?
Okay, so my biggest surprise are the Seahawks.
Okay.
Even though because it may be a little bit of a obscure reason, but I thought that they would be in the same predicament as the Raiders,
Just at the
but they're
bottom of their
not.
division. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not. And I feel like that's what those teams were getting. You know what I'm saying? I felt like Sam Darnold wasn't that great, but Sam Darnold is actually starting to show me, so I'm surprised. Then Jackson Smith and Jigma, then they have a solid offense and
Yeah.
a weirdishly solid defense,
Hmm.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing outstanding on paper about that defense. That defense is not writing home to anyone. Like maybe there's a cute few, like maybe there's one or two notable cornerbacks, maybe a safety, Julian Love, I think.
Julian Love, former Giant.
Julian Love, Tyreek, yeah, which is the dumbest thing that the
I would still
Giants
be
could have ever
pissed.
done.
Two great
Yeah,
safeties walked out the door back-to-back years. Now you
yeah,
know how I feel about
ridiculous,
being a Giants fan.
ridiculous, ridiculous. Because right after he left the Giants, he had a great year
You had a great year.
as
He
a
was a Pro Bowler.
Seahawks, as a Seahawk.
Yep.
So it pissed me off. And it pissed me off because it's like, yo, the Giants just don't know as an organization how to keep or win. Like keep good players or win. Like, yeah, they won Super Bowls, but like, come on, consecutively, it's enough to be like, okay, like, like. Anyways,
Yeah.
I digress. I digress. The fact here is, I thought the Seahawks would be in a way worse position, but Sam Darnold's throwing for like damn near almost 300 yards, like almost every game he's playing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta kind of like give credit where credit is due. And my disappointment for everything is the Bengals. Like
Mm.
and it in like
But is it more because of what's happening post Burrow, or are you just saying like even like is what you're seeing now, or
no
is it like
current. It's just
just
it's
yeah,
just
it's
it's
current?
just it's just current,
Yeah,
man. Because you can't say Prosboro.
yeah,
No,
Because
I agree.
before Burrow goes down, who do you have?
Yeah,
Jake Browning, bro.
yeah, yeah,
Like, yo, seriously, the man has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns.
yeah,
Eh, Like, I don't even know. The fact of the matter is, you know that your quarterback is damn near made of paper mache. He's like the Anthony Davis of quarterbacks. Like, yeah.
yeah. Hall of Famer on the field, but he just problem is he just can't stay on the field. Yeah,
No.
yeah. Or when he's on like you go on the Anthony Davis analogy, like when he's
Yo,
on the
he's
court,
on
he's a
the
first ballot Hall of
yo,
Famer,
he's the
but he
first
he
ballot
twists his
Hall of
ankle every other
Famer.
second. Yeah, yeah,
But he gets blown down, and then he's like his entire team falls the fuck apart.
yeah.
Like Anthony Davis on the Pelicans.
Oh yeah,
You feel what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
after he goes down, the entire team's washed. Like and then that's just what it is. Jamar Chase's numbers are gonna go down. Like you at least have a quarterback that'll make the and offensive coordinator. So I'm not just gonna blame it on the quarterback. I'm gonna blame the organization as a whole
yeah,
because you guys haven't done anything to make your team thrive after your star has gone down, and that's
yeah,
just it.
yeah. No, I
There's
agree.
no one to
Yeah.
you haven't put a manager to make your playmakers work. You haven't found playmakers to make play. Chase Brown's declining. Shit is just
Yeah. No, it's a mess. I mean, I completely agree. It's a good pick. I mean, the fact that they are relying on Joe Flacco to come in and be the savior of this offense after the Browning disaster and not calling the Giants. And supposedly there's reports that they were trying to get Jameis over there and the Giants changed their decision last minute. But the fact of
I
all the
was
free
trying
agents
to.
or all the quarterbacks and free agents on the market, you're going to go with 41-year-old Joe Flacco with the offensive line that we've told everyone for years is a mess. And the reason why Joe Burrow's hurt again, and the fact you're going to put a statue behind that offensive line, things are only going to get worse in Cincinnati.
He just came off a horrible game, and you
Yeah,
traded for a horrible quarterback.
exactly.
He's not even a good 41-year-old quarterback.
No,
He's one of the bottom tier of the
yeah.
41-year-old
So
quarterback.
that's why I'm surprised.
Like
Like Russ is, they didn't call about Russ. I'm not
you
surprised they called
didn't.
about Jameis, but maybe
I
they're like,
would
oh,
have.
well, will you give us Russ?
I
I
would have
think
threw
Russ
picks
would be a
at
little
them
bit
to get
better.
Jameis because Jameis is actually gonna push
Oh
my
yeah,
off. So,
yeah.
yo,
You give him Jamar Chase to throw to. Yeah, he's gonna have some fun.
you saw what he did with Jerry Judy. Jerry
Yeah.
Judy had a
Yeah,
Jerry Judy had one of the best years of his freaking career
yeah,
with
Yeah.
Jameis Winston
yeah,
throwing him the ball.
yeah. So I'm saying like there's a message in that because the fact that you have Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, and your offensive weapons, and you still can't scheme to get them open. You still have a couple quarterback. Your offensive line, the defense is still a mess. It's not a bad pick for the disappointing team. There's a lot of things
Yo,
we're gonna talk about because heads are gonna roll in Cincinnati soon. They're gonna start
if I was
firing
a
some
Bengals
people
fan, I'd be marching
because
the Capitol.
it's gonna be really really bad. And again, it shows how valuable Joe Burrow is. I think all of us love Joe Burrow. It
Yeah.
shows how valuable he is again, but the fact that you don't have a plan in place for when that dude goes down, just
Yeah,
get yourself a competent backup quarterback. There's a million in this league. The fact they didn't do that is telling. So not a bad pick, it's disappointment. So with that, we're gonna have some topics from another day. We don't want to go too long here. We're gonna go to our picks, but first, like we said before, we've teased before we go to our picks to wrap this episode of the podcast. Our gambling friend Nico has been on a heater with his podcast picks. So, Nico, why don't you give us a little recap of last
Yep.
week and your picks you're looking at this week, and then we'll go into our week 6 picks to end this edition of the Yards of the Guest podcast.
Yeah, excited. It was a 4-1 week, which I was really happy about. Puts me to 8-2-1 overall on the show, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, the started off was Thursday night football. Our only loser on the week was Chiron over carries. Everyone thought, especially on the pod last week, that the Rams were just going to dominate this game, and I honestly thought they were going to play in front the whole time, and they just didn't. So that's where that loser came from. But we did get a winner in that game, and that was Blake Corum, longest rush over. Blake Corum's longest rush over being 9.5 yards. I think it was set up. But
Got
I
on
ended
like
up
his
getting
first carry.
Yeah.
on his first carry,
Yeah.
and then he didn't carry again until the toss, and then he didn't carry the rest of the game because he fumbled.
Yeah.
But yeah, that hit on his little first rush was really nice. Then Judkins over yards in London. I've been over this number nonstop. I told you on the pod last week to get this number in early because it was 65.5. It ended up closing at 73.5 on some
Damn.
books. So yeah, definitely try to get them in early if you could. Another one was Dart anytime touchdown pass. This was juiced up at like minus 200, but I know the first week with Dart, they're hesitant in the red zone, like we mentioned. But like last week, I just really thought they're going to take some chances against the Saints, and it's it in the first quarter. I think on the first drive, even that play.
Yeah, play the
Oh, that was
play
nice.
action to Theo for the touchdown. Yeah.
And another one we kind of got lucky on, but I don't believe we got lucky, was Jalen Waddle, longest reception over 20.5 receiving yards. They targeted him deep nonstop, but last week he ended up catching that 45-yard touchdown in like the final 3 minutes.
Take the lead
But
at
there
the time,
was he was teasing it all game. He had two 17-yard catches and one 19-yard catch. I was sick over it. I was just like, just give me like three more. But then I'm going to get into this week, the rapid fire picks.
But Mr. Nico, is that like not to say? Is it fair to say that's a lock, considering that Tyreek is out?
So that was last. I mean, it was minus 110, but Bars, you're just. I'll start it off for you. That is on my pick for this week again. My week 6 picks. Starting off, I have 7 of them for you today. Waddle's over under is now 22.5. Last week it was 20.5. I still think this is a great play. I think he goes over this as he is a new deep guy. My second play is Kyron Williams. His over under rushing is 69.5. He's playing against a weak rush defense. I think he's easily going to hit this number. Next, I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs. Also, again, playing the Bengals, a bad team. His over-under is currently set at 77.5. I do expect a lot of carries there.
I thought it would be a little higher, but
yeah, it's kind of low right now. Speaking of those two guys, I would also like to do like a parlay with Kyron and Jacobs anytime touchdown. As I can see both of them finding the end zone in a game. But that's a greater spread than 7 points.
I don't know. That's kind of crazy.
I teased this a little earlier. I said about the Chargers, they need a little spark over these next couple weeks, and that spark is Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey had an unreal rookie season. Right now, his number is 52.5. This will be the absolute lowest you'll ever see his number. Obviously, Keenan Allen and Johnson have been stepping up, but you will not see this number this low ever again. So I highly recommend you getting on that number at 52.5 as he has a big game. Next is another longest reception play, is McMillan. McMillan over 22.5 as the longest reception. Playing against a weak secondary this week that allows a lot of big plays. He is a deep shot guy. Bryce Young likes him a lot, so I do think Bryce Young hits him. And finally, I know I'm a little long-winded for 7 plays this week, but throw Desmond the bone. Saquon has his game tomorrow. Over-under is 85.5. I think he actually gets his first 100-yard game on the season. Eagles figure it out against the Giants. I'm sorry, Alex, but I really think it's the game that Barkley gets his gets his nut back, basically. So
hey,
that's it.
I've been doing a lot of betting this. I've been doing a lot of betting this year. A lot of those rushing numbers have been high for the over. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But I like Saquon. We'll see. I do like Saquon. Revenge game, especially with the documentary I think came out this week.
This is archived. Remember I said that. This is archived.
It's all archived. So 8-2-1 on the season. Yeah. Good luck, everyone cashing their bets. Put them in early, and I'm excited. Hopefully next week we're talking about another green.
One very small caveat to Nico.
I do wish you luck, though, Nico. I do wish you luck.
One very small caveat: Landon Dickerson has been ruled out of this game for the Giants. Don't know if that's going to impact your bets or not, but it would for me when it comes to Saquon's rushing yards.
It's still
and another thing too.
That's our best line.
The Bengals have a decent rush defense. I feel like if they're going to get killed anywhere, it's going to be in the air.
I do like your play with the Bengals. I think that team just falls off at like halftime. If they're not in it, they just give up.
Yeah,
that's true. But no. AY got that.
They're not in it. They're just gonna lay down, literally, like we've seen it. So with that, Nico, good plays. Good luck to everyone. If you're following me again, Nico's been on a heater. I recommend. I like his plays, especially my boy Ladd McConkey.
I pray for his streak. I take my takes, but I pray for his streak.
Especially my boy Ladd McConkey. I have a bunch of sports cards over here. Former Georgia Bulldog. I'm a Georgia fan. Love me some Ladd McConkey. So yeah, that number low, especially last week where it looked like Herbert was targeting a little bit more, could be a really solid play. So good picks by Nico. But with that, we're gonna go over to our rapid fire pick'em. So I'll say the spread. I'm not going to go through over unders. If you guys want to tell me over unders or your money line or what you looked at when you're doing your research, great. But I'll tell you guys the spread, and then you guys will give me your rapid fire picks. So starting off tomorrow, like we mentioned a bunch of times, it's the Eagles on the road at the greatest refrigerator on the planet Earth, MetLife Stadium. It starts off, kicks off at 8:15. Eagles are starting off here at -7. I'm just going to take the Eagles outright to win this game. Again, the Giants have been a mess. If they get a fluky win, I'll be very happy, and I'll rub it in Desmond's face that the Giants got a fluky win over the Eagles. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Eagles are going to use the Giants to make a great game, and I really just hope Shane Bowen can just get in his car and drive with his box, and I never have to see him on the sideline ever again. I hope this is a game where they finally make a decision on Shane Bowen. But with that, Desmond, who do you have in this one for the Giants and the Eagles?
I say this, I'm gonna say this every podcast, probably for the sake of transparency. I'm not capable of being objective here. I'm an Eagles fan. I'm always gonna pick the Eagles. I will say this though, just for transparency's sake here. The Eagles do usually lose at least one division game every year. They never sweep. So the Giants beat them, the Commanders beat them, the Cowboys beat them. So I would not be surprised if the Giants got this one because we usually lose a division game at least every year.
Yeah. CJ, who do you have between the Giants and the Eagles this week? Rapid fire.
First of all, he's biased. He's wearing an Eagles jersey, but I'm
Just
gonna
said
go
it.
with the Eagles because I don't feel this is the division game that they're gonna lose.
Hmm, okay. I mean, they face the Giants, what, 2 times over the next 3 weeks? Is that
Yeah,
correct or something like that? So,
yeah.
yeah, they're
What are
probably
the
going
what
to
are the
lose. Well,
division
maybe,
game?
maybe in a few weeks they'll lose to the Giants. But
What
Nico,
are the is that their last division game?
No, we got three more at the end of the year.
yeah, three more at the end of the year. But the
Yeah, yeah,
Giants are
no,
like
no, they're
smushed
sweeping
in
the
the middle.
Giants.
Yeah,
They're sweeping the Giants.
probably. For my knowing my sanity, I'll probably see them whoop the Eagles whoop the Giants ass twice in the span of 3 weeks. Nico, who do you have in this one?
Yeah, I have the Eagles. I think it's very tough for a young rookie quarterback and rookie running back to not a lot of prep time on a short week to watch a lot of film, which I think is very tough for a Super Bowl caliber team in Philadelphia.
Their defense is
Agreed.
strong.
Agreed.
Like
Agreed.
Fangio's legit.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving on. Another international game we'll get to wake up to on Sunday. Feel bad for the fans in London that might have to watch this one because this might get out of hand real fast. It's the Denver Broncos versus the New York Jets, a team that hasn't won a game this year. And I don't think they're going to win. I think their losing streak continues. I'm going to go with the Broncos, and I'm confident enough with the spread. I think the Jets are an absolute mess. I don't think Aaron Glenn gets fired year one. But right now, the Jets don't give me any sort of motivation when I watch them. So I'm going Broncos here and taking the spread. Desmond, who do you have in this matchup?
Man, there is no good reason to make this pick, and I'm still going to take the Jets.
Ooh.
I'm going to take the
All right.
Jets. The Jets are not going 0-17. Going over to London is tricky. Denver hasn't been home for 2 weeks now. I'm taking the Jets to get the upset on the road. Oh,
All
I guess
right.
they're both on the road,
You
but
you
in
guys,
in
yeah, they're
London.
both on the road, but technically the Jets are the home team. We'll see. CJ, are you going with Desmond here? You're pointing the finger at him. Are you going with the Jets or are you going with the Broncos here for your pickup?
You know I am. What are you saying? First of all, stop playing with me. They're gonna do it. Like I'm going with Desmond, and Desmond, look out for it in the Pick'em League. It's
Yeah.
the underdog pick. It's the upset pick. It's going down.
All right, you guys heard it. I guess Nico, are you with me or am I being outnumbered here 3-1 on the pick between the Broncos and the Jets?
No, it's the Broncos. It's I just the Jets haven't really done anything for me to show me anything other than this is Bo Nix and Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos.
Like it. Then moving on, we're gonna move on because we're gonna go rapid fire as per usual here to wrap up our podcast. We got the Cardinals coming off their terrible loss on the road against Indiana Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. The spread opens here at -7. Uh, I'm gonna throw up every time I have to say Daniel Jones's name in a positive light. But give me the Colts and the points here. I think Indiana Jones at home delivers against this Cardinals team that again is just coming off a terrible loss. Don't know if they're gonna have any motivation in this one. So I'm just gonna go with the Colts here, continuing their great start to the year. Give me the Colts and the points. Desmond, who do you have?
You know, I think the Cardinals are gonna get a little bit of a hangover here. I don't think they're gonna be able to come out of here with a win. They don't play really well on the road in the first place. Colts look legit. I don't think it's fluky what they're doing right now. Give me the Colts.
I get Nico. Who do you have in this one?
Yeah, I agree. Give me the Colts. Not really too sure what the vibe in that locker room is going to be, what your coach can't find and everything this week. I think that needs to take some time to develop. So, like Desmond mentioned, Colts are legit playing really well, and give me the Colts.
Okay. Siege, who do you have in this one between the Cardinals and the Colts? Are we going all Colts, or are you picking the Cardinals?
Cardinals. They bounce back and they
Ooh.
win it for their coach that just got fined.
All right. You guys heard it here. This next game is not like interesting to me, but how Vegas has it spread wise is interesting. You got Dallas on the road against the Carolina Panthers. The spread is only 3 in favor of Dallas. I would think they would have a little bit of a higher number coming off their offensive performance because the Jets last week and the defense finally looking like a defense for 1 week. Again, albeit against the Jets, and I know the Panthers came back and won that game. Then they've been looking decent, but give me the Cowboys and the points here. I think their offense is going to continue to click. Again, the Panthers to me are just too inconsistent. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. I think the offense is going to continue to gel even without CD Lamb. Give me the Cowboys and the points. I like that here with the 3 especially. Desmond, I'll go to you. Who do you have in this one?
The lowest amount of points the Cowboys have scored this year was 24. Other than that, they've scored 40, 31, 40, and 37. I can't pick against the Cowboys when they're facing the Panthers. No, Cowboys.
Siege, who do you have between the Cowboys and the Panthers?
To touch on Desmond's note, the Cowboys do things like this all the time and then fall off in the most important moments. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys here because if you tell me that the Cowboys lose to the Panthers, then this is a parallel universe.
Agreed, Nico. Who do you have here?
I actually already have a bet in on this game. And I'm not counting it because I always speak with player props
Here
in
we
my
go.
record. But it's actually the Carolina Panthers team total over
I
23
told
and a
you.
half points. I think that Cowboys defense is very weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That line, as Alex mentioned, is tough for me to give you a winner on the spread
Yeah.
because that's a weird line. But I do think it's going to be a high scoring game, and I
Well,
wouldn't be surprised if Carolina does win this game. So for the sake of the pick 'em, I will say Carolina.
while
Carolina.
Okay.
that while that defense is weak, that offense is weaker. Continue.
All right.
All right, moving on. I almost missed your team, CJ. Sorry about that. We're gonna go down the line again. I'm looking at DraftKings here for spreads. Every place can be different, but I'm looking at DraftKings just for
Best
relevancy.
for last, baby. Come on.
Cleveland Browns on the road at Pittsburgh, divisional game should be a fun one. Steelers open up here at a 5.5 point favorite. Um, the Browns defense has impressed me at times this year. It is the divisional game. I'm going to pick the Steelers here, and I'm going to avoid the spread if anything. I know the money line's minus 258. I'll probably take them on the money line just because I think this division game is going to be tough. I still think the Steelers are going to win. Give me the Steelers, but if I'm going to bet anything, I'm going to bet more on the money line than I will on the spread. I'm going to go over to you, CJ, because this is your team. Who do you have between the Browns and the Steelers?
I'm going to the Steelers here because we have a good record against rookie quarterbacks.
Mm.
But like you did say, it's a divisional game. Miles Garrett does like to try to show out, especially against TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Because that's his main competition, especially when it comes to Defensive Player of the Year. But I also agree with you when you said you're going to avoid the spread and stay on the money line. They said 5.5. I'm gonna go 3. I would love to
Mm,
say Aaron Rodgers throws like a touchdown, and I would 2 touchdowns, and we blow them out. But scrappy ass game, defensive. It is what it is. So I would say 3, on 3.5 maybe on the spread. If they were to give it on the spread, but 5 is a little wild for me. But yeah, I'm
yeah.
going with the Steelers. Money
Agree with that. Desmond, I'll go with you.
line.
I agree with it being a close game. Browns Steelers is always a close game,
Yeah.
good division game. I think it's a low scoring game, 17-14 going Steelers.
Browns Ravens is closer, but yeah, go ahead.
True. Nico.
I agree. I won't be touching this game bet wise, but if I had to pick a side, I'd go with Pittsburgh. I
Yeah.
think they get the job done. Tomlin does very well, like Bart's mentioned against a rookie quarterback.
If I had to say anything, if I had to say anything though, if I had to say anything, and I would go with the prop bets, I would say Judkins for 30 yards, maybe 40 if you're pushing it, if you're feeling feisty, right? And I would say DK Metcalf for 50. And I would say Kenneth Gainwell for 20 plus receiving yards. That's
Mm,
it. I'm a player prop guy, and that's all I'm
okay.
going for.
Gamewell press in London. Wouldn't surprise if they lean on him in this one. Gonna move on to the next pick. What looked like a game to mark on your calendars at the offseason is looking like a little bit of a dud right now. We were looking at the Rams on the road at Baltimore.
Oh,
Rams opening up at -7.5. Lamar Jackson's looking like he is probably not playing this week again with his hamstring injury. Did not practice today, which is why the spread is as big as it is right now. Uh, and the fact that the Ravens are minus, like the Rams are favored -7.5 is kind of crazy to me when you look at a Ravens team. I'm probably going to avoid this game. I think the Rams are going to win this game. They're a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. I know they've had a little bit of a bumpy road. I think the spreads are still a little too high, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams pull them out with the offense that they have and the way Puka Nacua has been playing to start the year. Give me the Rams on this. I'll probably go more player prop route in this one. But if I have to pick a team, I'll go with the Rams. Desmond, who do you have when you're looking at the Rams and the Ravens?
I think the Ravens are going to bounce back this game. I'm not picking them to win. I think they're going to cover. I think that this team is playing with a lot of pride, and I think they know their season's on the line. I actually would pick them outright if the Rams hadn't lost last week, but I think the
Mm,
Rams are also kind of like they got their guard up after blowing that game to the 49ers. I'm going to take the Rams here, but Ravens cover.
like that pick. Nico.
Yeah, I have the Rams pretty big, to be honest with you. I just think Cooper Rush is not good. And I think the
Yeah.
Ravens team just that defense is so bad and Sean McVay's so creative. Puka has a big game. Like I mentioned earlier, Kyron's gonna go off. I expect the Rams by 2+ touchdowns.
Siege, who do you have between the Rams and the Ravens this week?
Rams. I hate the Ravens.
Keep it simple.
to, to the point. Moving on, because again, we got a lot of games to go through, and don't keep going. We got the Chargers on the road against the Dolphins again, another 1 o'clock game. A lot of good 1 o'clocks. I mean, this week, I feel there's going to be a lot of fun ones to watch. Chargers opening up right now at -4.5. I have no faith in Dolphins right now, especially after blowing yet another lead. I think the Chargers, again, two straight losses, use this road game to take advantage. I like the Chargers. I like the points. Give me that for this week because, again, I just don't have any faith in the Dolphins. And Nico, I'll start with you. Who do you have in the Chargers and Dolphins?
Yeah, as much as I want to take the Chargers, I just can't. I really think that
Ooh.
McDaniels knows they gave him one. Like this is his last chance. Like honestly thought after losing to Carolina, we weren't going to see him fly home with the team this week. I really thought they were going to keep him there, but like I just think this is where they turn it around. And I think they win for their coach. Obviously, we saw a couple weeks ago the Chargers with the Giants. Dolphins win this game.
All right. You heard it here first, everyone. Siege, I'll go over to you. Who do you have in that matchup between the Chargers and the Dolphins?
Chargers.
Play it simple. Like this. Who do you have?
When you look at the ticket prices for each game this week, the Dolphins have the lowest ticket prices. They are begging people to come into the stadium right now.
The Hard Rock?
Yeah.
The Hard
Uh,
Rock.
so it's going to be the Chargers because the Dolphins know that this is like it's over for them.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Wow.
think, yeah,
That
I
was so
think
morbid.
I think the window is close to the Dolphins. It's an absolute mess.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next one. Uh, again, could be fun, probably not. But it's the Patriots on the road against the New Orleans Saints. Patriots are favored at -3.5. If I'm going to go anywhere, I'm going to take them on the money line for the Patriots to win this one. Again, I know the Saints just beat my Giants and they look scrappy. They're scrappy in every game. But I think the Patriots are going to continue that momentum after their upset win over the Bills, showing everyone that they can be a really solid team going forward. So I'm going to go with the Patriots, and if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to take them on the money line. Desmond, I'll go with you. Who do you have?
I got the Patriots again. I don't think the Saints are going to catch the team off guard twice in a row. I think Patriots, the Saints, they're not, yeah, Patriots. No.
Nico.
Patriots. Like I said, the Saints team stinks, and I'm sick of it all year. Drake May's the real deal, and if you're a Patriots fan, you have a lot to be excited about right now.
Every time you say the Saints stink, you make me feel worse because my Giants lost to them. CJ,
Yeah,
who do you
that's
have in this one?
fair.
Who do you have, CJ, the Patriots and Saints?
Uh, I have Patriots, Stephon Diggs plus 60 yards, and
I like that.
whoever their starting running back is, at least plus 40
Yeah, it
rushing.
looks like they keep on relying on Armando Davis, even though he keeps on fumbling the damn ball every week, and they're not using their their running back pick in Henderson. We'll see. It'll probably be Ramondre Stevenson, I would think, if they're going to rely, because again, he had a couple big runs late in that Bills game. Okay, next one. This should be a fun one. To end the 1 o'clock window, you got the Seahawks on the road against Jacksonville. The spread is close. This game's going to be a close one. I feel. Seahawks are actually not favored. It's the Jaguars at -1.5. I really like looking at the Seahawks here and plus 1.5. I think Jacksonville, again, like I said, I'm impressed with them. They've been the team that surprised me the most. Seahawks, though, especially in that tough division, need a win here on the road. I think they're going to keep on their good play. So I like the Seahawks here and the points. Desmond, who do you have in this one?
I really want to pick the Jaguars here. This is that classic West Coast team coming to the East Coast for that early start game. So, I mean, like, I want to pick the Jaguars here, but I think the Seahawks, I feel like they probably let a game get away from them last week. So I feel like they're going to come down here and catch a Jaguars team slipping right now, who's probably still feeling themselves after that Chiefs win.
So sounds I like that. Yeah, especially with the fact that I still can't go over that Trevor Lawrence tripped himself his way into the end zone. But Nico, who do you have here between the Seahawks and the Jags?
Yeah, I'm opposite. Give me Jacksonville. I think this team has a good energy to them right now. Really hot coach, hot locker room, and I think they're just going to keep the ball rolling.
Okay. CJ, who do you have between the Seahawks and the Jags?
I got the Seahawks. I don't think the Jags are going to sustain this. They're going to be gassed up off this win. I agree with all of Desmond's takes.
Love it. Probably one of the weaker 4 o'clock windows we've had unless there's one out of the three games are decent, but we'll have to talk about them. We got the Titans on the road against the Raiders. The Raiders were opening up here at -3.5. I don't even know if I'm going to watch this game, to be perfectly honest with you. Give me the Raiders in 3.5, and please, Genty, like pop off. Maybe make that fun to watch. Because my God, if the Raiders lose to this Titans team, I don't even know where to go from here. So Raiders, if you're gonna play a prop, Genty, I would go here because again, the Titans are just an absolute mess. Raiders, give me the points, please, for the love of God, for Alex's sake. I don't even want to know what the group chat would be like for other Alex if they lose to the Titans. Desmond, I'll go over to you. Who do you have between the Titans and Raiders?
Tie. 6-6. Tie.
That would be gross. Nico, who do you have?
Yo,
Give me,
yo, that's abusive.
give me the Titans. I think they needed a fluky win like last week to get the ball rolling, and I think they're going to carry some momentum into this week. They're going to come out fired up and get off to a half start that the Raiders cannot catch up to.
Love it.
All right.
CJ, who do you have in that terrible matchup? I'll call it
Is
like it
Brock
is.
Bowers going to be back?
Was out of practice this week.
I don't know.
He might play, but he was not seen at practice today, at least. That's how we're recording.
Okay, all right. Give me the Raiders. And this is for my boy Alex Renelio.
I think
AR, this one's for you. The Raiders win. Jacoby Myers has 100 yards, but for the safe bet, put him down for plus 50.
I like it.
And ask the Genty for like 40. Be safe.
Now, hold on
Yeah,
one second. I want to give a real pick here. I
yeah,
think I'm going to take the Raiders. Just because it's honestly because it's a home game. I think that's could be the only real deciding factor here.
like it. Like it. I mean, it'd be fun if it's a tie. I
Yeah.
will die laughing if the tie pick happens.
Six
Next game.
points though, that's disrespectful. We're not going to be that abusive to any. We're not going to be abusive like that to any NBA franchise, bro. And I mean their fan base. We're not going to do that. I mean, I said NBA, NFL franchise. We're not going to do that. Don't
Yeah.
do.
Next game, Vegas just has an absolute beatdown. 425 Bengals on the road at Lambeau against the Packers. Spread opened up at 14. Uh, Packers are -1,050 on the money line.
That.
I'm not even touching this game. If I'm gonna pick a team, it's the Packers, obviously. Everyone knows my philosophy. If the spread is 14, I usually avoid it. 12 or more, I usually avoid it. Here, if you want to have some fun and watch a beatdown, throw some money down. Packers are gonna win this game. But this game, I think, is a hard avoid. Desmond, who do you have?
I like the Packers being able to abuse this Big 12 defense. This is an easy one.
Nico.
Um, Obviously, I'm going with the Packers, but how cool would it be for a Joe Flacco led team to beat the Packers twice in 3 weeks. Like, how awesome would that be?
The story would be
We'll
incredible.
start off
The
the podcast
likelihood,
with that one next week if
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
case.
that'll be the
100%.
lead. That would be the lead. CJ, who do you have in this one?
Yeah. Is there anyone else to go? There's no one else to go. Yo,
No one else
listen.
to go. You go with all of us with the Packers. I
Yo,
mean,
bro,
that
why do I
story would
have
be
to choose?
incredible.
I can't choose, bro. This is bad. Um, Going with the Bengals.
Oh, all right. I guess somebody
Joe,
somebody has
Joe
to.
Cool. Someone has to. Joe Cool. CJ wants to see the story. All right. Probably the better of the 4 o'clock, or the best of the 4 o'clock window, I should say. 49ers on the road against the Buccaneers. Buccaneers open up at -3. Again, with the 49ers injuries, I don't know how long Sam will. Bucks have looked really good. I'm going with the Bucks here, and I like the points at -3. Give me the Bucks at home. 49ers is a great story. I think this is gonna be a close game. I mean, the over-under is 47.5. I think it is gonna be a close game, but give me the Bucks here. Nico, I'll start with you here. Who do you have?
Yeah, I'm going with Tampa Bay as well. I just think I thought it was going to be last week, but when are these 49ers injuries going to catch up with
Yeah,
them? They're winning games with all these players out, and I think this is the week where it finally sets them back.
I like it. Siege, who do you have?
I think Baker Mayfield has finally met his reflection. Like I have the 49ers taking this one. I think Mac Jones is the Baker Mayfield of the 49ers. Like I don't know. I just feel like he's gonna pull this one out of his like sombrero and like toss this one on the ground and call the W up. Like this is what it is. Like Mac Jones has been doing it.
Yeah, and I think the way Mac Jones is playing, I know Brock Purdy is whatever the case might be. I don't think I think you just rest him because Mac's playing, but
Is is
agreed.
is 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 Brock healthy?
He's
I
not
think
playing
he's
this
still gonna
week.
be back. I think I doubt he. Yeah, I think he's not. I think he's out this week.
I'm
They're
putting this
probably
one on the
resting him,
back of
but
Mac Jones. If Mac Jones was still a Patriot, I wouldn't do it. But he's a 49er. So let's do it.
love it. Desmond, who do you have?
I'm taking the 49ers too. I don't think it was a fluke what they did to the Rams last week, coming off a
Mhm.
mini bye. I think the Buccaneers also struggled playing a good defense in Philly. I think the 49ers
hmm
somehow have a good defense even with all the injuries.
hmm
Yeah, I think 49ers can keep this thing close and win, like 23-20.
Like it.
I like that.
Sunday
I
night
like
should be
that.
should be a fun one. Spread's a little interesting to me. It's the lines on the road at Arrowhead. This is probably why, because it's Arrowhead against the Kansas City Chiefs. Spread opens up Chiefs -2.5. I'm taking the Lions and hammering it at +2.5. I think they're one of the best teams of football. They've been playing great these last 2 weeks. I feel like one of the teams that you can just have trust whenever their spread line comes out to take them because they've been hitting it. Give me the Lions. Give me the +2.5. Chiefs have been struggling. Lions have been better. Give me that. Desmond, I'll go with you. Who do you have?
I really want to take the Chiefs because I feel like their backs are up against the wall, but the Lions are legit, man. And they're not the type of team that's going to take their foot off the gas for anybody. I think they want to go in there and hammer these dudes. So give me the Lions.
Siege, who do you have in this one?
Give me the Lions. This game looks close at first. They at least win by a touchdown. I want to say two, but they at least win by a touchdown. And I want to say take this one in the over for the points.
Yeah,
Mm,
the 52.5 is over, but this could be a shootout.
52
We've
and a
seen
half,
what
50,
52
52
and
and
a
a half.
half is the over under right now in this game.
I like the over, actually.
I like the
I
over
like the
too.
over.
Yeah,
I like
Yeah.
the over.
I
I
like the
like the
over.
over. Because
Nico, who do you have?
that's what 25 on each side. That's 50. Yeah, no. I like
Yeah,
the over. I like
yeah.
the over. 20. Yeah, no.
Nico, who do you have in this one?
Yeah, I actually have Kansas City. I do think Detroit is really legit, but I feel bad for them coming into a tough spot on the road where Kansas City really needs a game. And this is like one of those rare situations where the line doesn't make sense. Vegas did it last week with the Broncos game and the Eagles game. It's the same exact thing this week. Why is this line 2.5? It screams they want everyone in the world to take Detroit.
Yeah,
So
But
I'll take Kansas City.
I would.
but
They would have my money.
but this is
That's how they
why.
do
But
it.
this is why.
That's how they
they're
do it.
taking my money. That's obviously.
That's that's how
Yeah.
they do it. They
But
want everybody in the world to take Detroit.
They
I'm
got me.
take they got my money. They got my
Yeah,
money. I'm telling
they
you
they
right
got
now. They
all of
got
them.
it.
Yeah.
We got, and we can go on and on about doubleheader on Monday night. Just in general, this concept. I'm not usually a huge fan of it, but this week we got two different games that are going to be competing with each other. But we'll start off here. Buffalo Bills on the road at Atlanta. Bills starting off at -4.5. I'm looking at this. I like looking at Atlanta, and I think at home they could, play this Buffalo Bills team tough, but there's also been moments where Michael Penix has just caused me to shake my head. Uh, Again, Bills coming off a loss on the road, need a win. I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm going to take the points here. That's my pick, but I do think Atlanta is going to give them a little bit of a tough one. Nico, I'll go with you here first. What were your pick between the Bills
Yeah,
and the Falcons?
if the Bills were able to pull out that game on Sunday against the Patriots, I would have taken Atlanta in this situation. But coming off the loss, give me Buffalo. I think they bounce back and win this game.
Like CJ, who do you have?
Give me in there.
Atlanta. All right, like it. Des.
I really want to take Atlanta coming off a bye, but I think something similar to what Nico's saying. I think the fact they lost last week, I think Buffalo is not going to want to drop back-to-back games. So I'm going to take Buffalo in a close. I would take Buffalo, but I think Atlanta might cover. I think it might be one of those like
Yeah.
21-20
One of those
games.
names. Yeah. I agree. I think it's gonna be could be a weird close game. Uh
Cool
Finally,
for the
we got
win.
the
Cool for the
Bear
win.
we got Bears at the Commanders kicking off at 8:15. So you got an hour gap between the Monday doubleheader. You got the 7:15 and you got the 8:15 start East Coast time.
A lot of doubleheaders this year.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Bears at the Commanders, like I said, -4.5 in favor of the Commanders. I really like looking at the Bears in this pick. I don't know if anyone else is gonna agree with me. I'm gonna
I
go with
agree.
the Bears here at +4.5. I do love Jay Daniels. I love him a lot. Again, the Commanders team has been up and down with him out without it. I like what I've seen from the Bears these last few weeks. Give me the Bears on the road, getting a win at the covering the spread. So that's my pick. Bears +4.5. Desmond.
I thought the Commanders were the most dangerous team in the NFC coming into the year, besides like the Eagles. They hadn't looked like it up until last week, where they definitely looked like it. I cannot pick against them now that they finally look like the team I thought they were going to be. Commanders, big.
Okay. You heard it here. Siege, who do you have between the Bears and the Commanders?
Bears, Ben Johnson's offense is looking like it's starting to really fall together. I'm fall together, starting to click together. I'm liking what I'm seeing from them. Give Roma Dunze +50 receiving yards.
Like Rome Day was my pick to be the player to watch,
Yeah,
breakout player to watch, and he's been proving me right so far. Liking my Rome
no, he
Day pick.
has.
Nico, who do you have to wrap up our picks for this week?
Yeah, give me the Bears. And the reason for that is I think there's a little battle. They might not act like it's there between Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, being the guys out of college. Obviously, last year, the game ended with a Jaden Daniels miracle Hail Mary to Noah Brown. So I think that keeps the Bears and Caleb Johnson up at night. And I think they want their vengeance, and they're going to get it this year.
Like it. I
Okay.
like it. I always forget about that Hail Mary play, but it did got back to me when everyone was freaking about red zone and commercials, and then everyone used the Burger King commercial while the ball was sailing in the air.
Yeah, in the air.
Perfect meme. Perfect football meme this year. But with that, that wraps up another edition of the Yards After the Catch podcast. Desmond, Nico, CJ, thank you so much for joining us. And if you guys have liked what you heard, please make sure you hit subscribe on our YouTube page, hit subscribe on Spotify. We'll be dropping clips. There's going to be a lot coming out from the Yards After the Catch. We appreciate you taking the time to listen, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Later, everyone.